Talk chief meteorologist, Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Not sure if you should repair or replace an aging air conditioner? Check out the free repair or replace tool from Air Comfort Service. Visit aircomfortservice.com/repair or replace.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ring.
That's us, that's right. Gotta love this American ride.
For goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Happy Monday. Welcome to the Annie Frey Show here on 97.1 FM Talk. We're glad to be with you this afternoon. There is so much stuff that happened this weekend, and we are here to cover all of it. The real prevailing question, though, the one that we're all kind of trying to answer ourselves, is there a monopoly right now on fun in America? Because the most wild thing to me in all of what I'm observing from the World Cup, from the UFC fight, from people celebrating America 250, just generally speaking, saturated everywhere on social media, everywhere, is a prevailing love for fun, but specifically fun that might have a little extra red, white, and blue attached to it. And it has been incredibly fun to consume over the course of the last probably week or so. There are a lot of people who are peeking around the corner looking like they want to come out and have a good time. And there's an apprehension that exists from folks, which I'm observing it through the way people are posting about these incredible events that are taking place. It's been really something crazy to observe. And so we're going to talk about this. I have a ton of sound and video to play for you today that is just like, how about this or how about that? You choose. And we'll see if you notice the same type of consistency that I've noticed regarding which party is looking to dive headfirst into the fun and which one isn't. I don't have a show sheet. Can I get a show sheet? I want to play this clip right now. This is just from right now at Peter. Oh, there it is. Peter Doocy updating it right here on the Iran deal signing. Did we get a deal?
And John, this is pretty unusual. We will wind up seeing a group of American diplomats and a group of Iranian diplomats together in the same place to talk about this memorandum of understanding and sign it before we ever actually see what is in it. President Trump just told us that we are not going to get the details until after J.D. Vance and Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff leave Geneva.
This is a very powerful document, and I want it to be released, so probably pretty soon. I would say sometime after Friday, because the Strait opens, it's open now, but it opens completely. We'll have all the mines knocked out for the most part. We have a lot of lanes right now already.
Trump ally Lindsey Graham is kind of nervous about this. He posted, "I am somewhat concerned that Iran's view of the agreement seems different than what the American negotiating team is claiming. Under our law, any nuclear deal with Iran will be sent to Congress for review and a vote. I look forward to reviewing the final product." The Iranians are claiming, to Lindsey Graham's point, that they are going to get paid up front. The Americans say that's not true. President Trump also just said here in Europe that this agreement does not include sanctions relief. So, what's in it for Iran? The vice president has revealed the parties are moving forward with a multi-billion-dollar fund to help rebuild Iran.
So we absolutely are open to the Gulf Coast countries investing in the reconstruction of Iran, but only if Iran ends their nuclear program, ends their enriched stockpile of material, and is really open to an inspections and enforcement regime that gives the American people confidence they're never going to have a nuclear weapon.
And the reason that this is a memorandum of understanding and not a deal is because the Iranian foreign minister, who we expect to see here in Switzerland by the end of this week, says the negotiations won't actually begin. The first round of negotiations won't actually begin until after this thing gets signed on Friday.
Peter Ducey reporting from Geneva there because the G7 is meeting in France. And you know how Donald Trump and Emmanuel Macron love to rub elbows. So they're hanging out together along with the rest of those global leaders, most of which have not been supportive at all of the United States in actual action, but certainly not in words of this entire Iran process. So that'll be a very interesting meeting to see what comes out of that. So we're going to start the week off with a memorandum of understanding. Or if you're reading, you're going to see it written as MOU. And it took me a minute to figure out and put that together because I was doing a lot of reading, a lot of reading. And MOU is Memorandum of Understanding, which is essentially an agreement to pursue an agreement.
It just sounds great.
I would like a memorandum of understanding between you and me.
Yeah, and I would like to never reach the other side of that. Just sort of sit in it.
Isn't that what we do?
Well, I think that might be what we're doing right now, both in the studio and in the White House.
I'm excited to see that it has taken this step. I feel as though this is a further step than the discussions on peace have. We haven't arrived at this point yet. And truly, when we listen to the experts that we've had on the show, of course, Jim Carafano and Senator Talent and flights from America First Policy Institute and General Kellogg and just whomever we have come on, then we pluck them out of what they're doing and they talk to us for 10, 15 minutes about what's going on over there. They all are consistent on one thing. We have decimated Iran to a point where they have been set back for at least a generation. Decades of destruction has been done to Iran's military capacity, their weaponry capacity, and that is not for nothing. In fact, if you've been listening to the president, that's the entire point. The whole point is no nukes. You guys cannot have a nuke. That's the whole point. That's the one thing he says. That they have added to the, Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. President Trump's secondary thing that he has added to that is the strait has to be opened. Well, the strait, this is something that, oh gosh, this frustrates the heck out of me. And Senator Jim Talent is going to be with us in less than 10 minutes. So you're going to want to keep it here for actual experts, not just me being like emotive about it. But people continue to talk about how, well, the strait was open before all of this happened. And if the strait is open now, then that just puts us right back where we started. You'll notice I always want to encourage you to pay attention to the words that opposition uses in unison from interview to interview to interview. Kind of the talking points get sent out, and then they try to create a narrative. And the phrase, have you heard this yet, Ryan? War of choice?
Yeah, I think I have.
War of choice. It is. They came out hot with it Monday morning, today. And the way that this is the fifth paragraph, Mark Cox rule, where you go to find out what the real story is. The reason they're saying war of choice today is because a lot of people on the left, a lot of his opposition are talking as if it's something that's in the past. They're actually acknowledging that this was a war of choice so that when you understand that President Trump has signed some sort of peace deal, which we're at a memorandum of understanding. How would you pronounce that, MOU?
Is it Mel?
Mel?
Yep.
Like a sassy cat.
Who doesn't have time for you?
Yeah. What's every cat? The idea that you've pursued this memorandum of understanding that is towards an agreement. Listen to the people who hate Donald Trump. They're talking about it right now like they think that this is wrapping itself up. Now they're trying to reorganize the table, the collateral political damage that's going to happen to the left if President Trump finds peace in this deal. They are going to claim, I don't know, like the Southern Poverty Law Center, that he wanted to start the fire so he could put it out. But they don't talk about the Southern Poverty Law Center, which is actually documentably hypocritical. There is a repeat point coming from the left right now that we have made zero progress. Nothing is better than when we started. That when you look at how President Trump engaged in this, And if you just boil it down to, okay, now the strait is open. Well, the strait was open beforehand. Yeah, but under what context? Can we pause for a moment and assess what context the strait was open? It was under the control of, obviously, because what ended up happening here when Iran got pushed up against the wall, they ended up flexing their muscles as much as they thought they possibly could, which turned out to not be too much, in the Strait of Hormuz because we were still sneaking oil out under their nose at nighttime. So they went and did what they thought they could do in the Strait of Hormuz, and it wasn't as effective as Iran really needed it to be because we were still able to move oil out. We were still able to keep the markets from going absolutely nuts, even though they got a little nuts. With gas prices going up. But President Trump, in the meantime, has redirected the world's pursuit of oil through the strait, which would diminish Iran's ability to pull that stunt again in the future should they feel up against the wall once again. So when you're sitting here and you're asking yourself, and the Democrats, folks, they're going to say this and they're going to say it hard. What have we gained in all of this? How has any of this how have we progressed in a way that made all of this effort worth it? Because it looks as though, if you just say the strait was open and it's open again, it looks as though maybe no progress was made. Mark Thiessen on Fox News had something to say about that.
I would say this to the former president's point. The difference is that the president dismantled their military in full. Yeah. Of course, you got some missiles still left, and it takes away the uranium that is there. So I would say that's the key difference, right?
Well, first of all, it's the exact same deal except for 14,000 military strikes that buried their entire nuclear program under rubble so deep that the Iranians have told us that they actually can't get to it. If we want the nuclear dust, we're going to have to come in and get it. Destroyed 82% of their defense industrial base, sunk their entire navy, grounded their entire air force, and also, by the way, the Ayatollah Khamenei, Qasem Soleimani, and like the top two tiers of their leadership are dead. But other than that, it's exactly like the Obama nuclear deal.
Yeah,
So when you listen to Mark Thiessen kind of explain there what really unfolded in the last, 100 days or so, you can witness the fact that Iran's ability to flex its muscles has been entirely deflated, if not removed, by the United States. So the next time they decide to act foolish, they won't have the bite behind the bark to make people jump because they are the state sponsor, the world sponsor of terrorism across the entire globe. So, yeah, there is a circumstance that is different, and we'll ask Senator Talent about that in just a minute when he joins us here on the show. The YouTube poll, we're going to talk a lot about this. I cannot wait for this conversation, and there's so many more videos I want to show you, but they're not FCC compliant because people are so bummed. The F word just jumps right in there when people are super excited. The YouTube poll for today, does fun now belong to a political party? Republicans, Democrats, or no, it's nonpartisan. Fun doesn't belong to a political party. Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and vote. Text us your reaction to people wanting to celebrate America 250, to celebrate the World Cup, to don the patriotic colors. Is there anything partisan about it? 314-241-9797. Senator Talent next.
When it comes to hiring a contractor, you need somebody you can trust. It's Mark Cox, and I want to tell you about my friend Curtis Carrell of the Carrell Roofing Company. Curtis fixed my roof. It was after a major hailstorm. He came the same day, got up, inspected it, and from start to finish, from having the adjuster out, pointing out what he thought was wrong, all the way until it was done, it was a fantastic experience. And that's not just my experience. I have coworkers here at the radio station who've also used Carrell Roofing Company, and a lot of my listeners have taken my advice, and I thank you for that. Curtis goes the extra mile. He just sent his crews out to Kansas City. They got additional training on working with insurance adjusters, making them more likely to get approval on your case. If you've been denied, call Carrell Roofing Company and get Curtis on the case. He's going to do a good job for you. More than 20 years of experience in the roofing industry, and you can take that to the bank. Call him at 314-222-9529 or CarrellRoofingCo.com.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss
neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Annie Frey is St. Louis conservative.
The president saying to them, we're extending an open hand. If you guys want to meet us, if you guys want to change your relationship with the United States, we will change our relationship with Iran. That's the offer, and we're going to have to see whether they meet us there.
Vice President J.D. Vance speaking about the deal that I guess is at a memorandum of understanding point at this point, an agreement to talk about having an agreement. And we're all leaning in, and I'll be honest, I am in a trust but verify stance right now with this administration and this conflict, and I hope, if I'm being optimistic, I just hope that we are on our way to ending this whole thing with a true full victory. Let's get to our guest. Senator Jim Talent joins us once again from a United States Senator from Missouri and Congressman, as well as Chairman of the Reagan Institute's National Leadership Council. Senator, thanks for being with us on a Monday. It's good to have you back.
It is good as always to be with you, Annie.
Thank you. This weekend there's a lot of news this weekend, a lot of events taking place. But in the midst of all of that, Friday we kind of heard, okay, maybe a deal is imminent. We've heard that before. Is this situation right now, is this moment different than the others where we thought we were a step closer to peace?
Yeah, because I think they have something that is a deal. In other words, I would guess now that there is something that has been agreed to and that is going to be signed. And I don't think we've ever been at this stage, although we're not certain and we don't know what's in it. I mean, we can guess. I could guess. But yeah, I think something's going to happen, and I think they're going to release the terms of it probably on Wednesday.
Okay. Why Wednesday?
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
which is good because it tells me that they're releasing on Wednesday, sign it on Friday. So it's not something that's going to be dropped on us at the time that they sign it, which means the administration's pretty proud of it. And I expect that it's a good deal. I mean, we can talk if you want. It's your interview. We can talk about what's probably in it.
Well, I've seen a lot. This is in the same breath I'm hearing from people who, they woke up this morning knowing exactly how they felt about everything Donald Trump was yet to do that day. They can't stand the man. But I hear a lot of people saying, we don't know anything that's in it. And then they proceed to talk about how bad of a deal it is. How is that even possible?
Yeah. Well, I think it's important to distinguish between what would be between a bad deal and a deal that doesn't get everything we want, but preserves the gains that we've had and preserves our options for the future. And that's what I suspect this is. Okay, so what are the gains we've had without going through it all? So the whole strategy of the Islamic Republic has been overthrown. They're emasculated, isolated, and very insecure at home. And we are continuing to throttle them economically. I'll get to that issue in just a second. In addition, I think it's important to remember the only leverage they've had is this threat to the Strait, and that's a wasting asset for them because within a short time, as these kinds of things are figured, the Gulf states are not going to need the Strait anymore. They're the ones, the producers, the Gulf states aren't going to need it because they're busy building, other means of getting product to port, and the customers are going to need it much less because they're busy, preparing to buy more oil from us, natural gas from us. So what I suspect is that the Gulf states wanted a period of stability, and the president thought that would be a good idea, preserving our options for the future. Now, it's one thing if the deal gives them a little economic relief on freezing assets, or says that we're not, for the time being, going to oppose additional sanctions. I'll have a problem if there's a major lifting of existing sanctions, because that would empower them in a serious way. But I'm going to be surprised if that's in it.
So I know there are discussions about money to rebuild Iran and where that would come from and how that would be funded. Does that come from the American taxpayer? Does that come from sanction relief or unlocked funds? How does that work?
Well, knowing Trump, I doubt it's going to come from the American taxpayer. Maybe we'll charge the Europeans like we've done for the aid to Ukraine. Under the right circumstances, I think it would come from unfreezing their assets. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you I think that the Islamic Republic's going to perform any future promises or any promises that have to be performed in the future. But if they don't, then, of course, any commitments that we've made under this go out the window as well. And under circumstances, it'll be more favorable. I mean, if they try something with the Strait in the future, now you're going to have huge international involvement and pressure on it. And again, if we can continue enforcing the sanctions we've got, which are very extensive, then all we've really done is opened up the Strait for the time being in return for lifting the blockade. If that's the core of this deal, they withdraw their threats to the Strait, we lift the blockade. As I said, I think it's a good deal and the best we could get if we were not prepared to open the Strait by force, which evidently we were not prepared to do.
Do you think we should try that? Do you think that the opening it without any sort of agreement on Iran, do you think that is something that would be in America's best interest?
That would have been my instinct because I think that's checkmate. This is the only leverage they've got. Nothing else they've tried has worked. They've not been able to impose any costs and consequences on us or on the rest of the world except this. So my instinct would have been to take that away from them by forcing the Strait. But as we've discussed, I suspect that our Gulf allies and partners, the Saudis, the UAE, which is a very important partner. I think they were very concerned about that. And to be fair to them, they're the ones who would be on the firing line if we tried that. And you got to understand what we want going forward, which is a stable Middle East, an equilibrium under American leadership, with Israeli military power to back it up and consisting of Israel, Egypt, Jordan, and the Gulf states. So we have to take into account what the Gulf states want. It's a coalition management type issue.
Senator Talent speaking with us right now. So, Senator, my question, based on what I'm hearing a lot from people, pundits who are in the media, various different channels and takes, there are a lot of folks who are saying, if we wrap this thing up right now, that nothing has changed. If the Strait is open, it was open before this war started. That President Trump has lost American lives, that he has, gained essentially nothing, that there was no purpose. And this is a phrase that I've heard a lot today, and I suspect we will hear very much so going into the midterm elections. The left is referring to this as a war of choice. So can you react to this war of choice at this point, if we do actually achieve peace? Is anything different from when we started to this war that President Trump chose to participate in? What's changed?
It was a war of choice in the sense that we could have ignored this prime opportunity to break Iranian power and destroy their strategy in the Middle East, and we could have kept kicking the can down the road, as we've done basically, to be fair, for the last 47 years. We could have done that, but we were in a situation where their weakness had been exposed over the last 2.5 years. We were in the strongest possible position because the Israelis have emerged as the hegemon of the Middle East, and we were able to conduct this campaign to break their military power, destroy their military-industrial base, degrade or destroy their proxies. I mean, Syria is gone now as a proxy. Hamas has been destroyed as an organized military force. You're seeing what Israel is doing to Hezbollah in Lebanon. The Houthis have been afraid to do anything to this point. So the initiative in the region has decisively shifted now away from Iran. This is policy. I mean, this is policy with a purpose and consistency over time. And obviously, we hated losing the lives that we lost. I mean, one casualty is one too many. But I suspect a lot of the guys and gals serving in Indo-PACOM were more than willing to make the Iranians pay the butcher's bill for what they've done to thousands of our servicemen and women over the years. And, that's what gets me all hotted up about this. They have attacked Americans with impunity, but not impunity any longer. So, yeah, and it was a sense in which we could have done nothing. I mean, that's what we have been doing. But then the threat would grow and grow and eventually result in Iran being a nuclear state. And I can just tell you that is probably the single worst thing that could have happened in the world if we're talking in terms of what nation states might do. And that is not going to happen now.
Did the prior administrations, Biden's administration, Obama's administration, did they know where the Iran situation was heading? Did they know that nuclear Iran was worst case scenario?
Well, they would say they did, but I think they were beguiled by this illusion, this wish casting, that the Islamic Republic could be made into a responsible state actor and by buying them off. And obviously it didn't work. They were within months of being able to get a nuclear weapon. And after the losses they'd suffered because of what the Israelis had done and because of what we did in Operation Midnight Hammer, they were, and this is very logical from their point of view, moving to reconstitute all their capabilities as quickly as possible. Well, we prevented that by taking out their military-industrial complex. So, and they've lost 50% of their GDP. As I said, they have been turned from a deadly threat into a problem that we can manage. Now, I would have liked to get rid of them. And this is the tension between the United States and Israel, because if you analyze the risk rewards for Israel, it was worth it to them to continue all this in an effort to get rid of the regime. But it's not worth it in terms of American interests. And despite what some people think, not just on the left, Israel doesn't run our policy. The president runs our policy. So they're going to be free to deal with Hezbollah. Trump wants them to deal with that. But he thought it was best for us at this point to pause, if you will, while preserving our options going forward. And I'm okay with that. I mean, I would have liked to see them completely broken or collapsing. But, I said in January on this show, during the last set of demonstrations, that I thought the fall of the Islamic Republic was now inevitable. I just didn't know how imminent it is.
Yeah.
And I think it's more imminent now than it was.
Last question before we let you go. We're grateful for your time. We're speaking with Senator Jim Talland. The G7 gathering is happening today, and we're watching as Macron greets people in France, greets the leaders there. How does this hyper-political global meeting of these minds affect this moment, or does this moment affect this meeting?
Well, I think they wanted the Strait open too. I mean, you have to remember, we of course hated the gas prices going up, but if you look in terms of potential long-term damage, this was much worse for the Europeans and the Asians than it was for us. And the president has now, assuming this is finalized this week, he's eased that pressure on them, and I think he's going to say now to them, okay. Now, number one, if they threaten the Strait again, we're going to expect you to be on board with our efforts to open it up. And number two, there's a new balance, a new equilibrium emerging in the Middle East, and you need to get on board. And so that's, I think, insofar as this summit is about the Middle East, I think that's the message he's going to send.
Well, we'll be watching closely. Senator Talent, we're thankful for you always taking our phone call and asking you to come on here to talk to us. We're always grateful for it. Thanks for being with us again.
You are welcome. Have a good day.
You as well. Bye-bye. We're watching Emmanuel Macron, the French president, greet the G7 leaders right now in this very... this is the same meeting where Joe Biden wandered off to look at the parachuters. And I think it was Moroni from Italy who was like, hey, Biden, over here. Come here. Come over here. We're over here. Joe. So that's happening right now. And I can't look away because I just want to know if any of these world leaders just wandered away from the group, what would we be doing? We'd be like, oh my gosh, can you see that? And he was the leader of the free world. Joe Biden. Wandering off like a toddler at a picnic. But it was the G7 meeting. My goodness. We'll continue to update if anything comes out of these meetings. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I'm not expecting any like world shattering news to come out at least throughout the course of this show. But the deal, the potential peace deal, that is minute by minute, and you're in the right spot to make sure that you are there when the news breaks. The YouTube poll for today, we're going to talk about this when we come back. Ryan's going to come back and join us. Does fun now belong to a political party? Let us know if you think it's a partisan or nonpartisan, something to enjoy now in our culture, in our American culture. YouTube.com/@AnnieFrey to vote. It's in the live chat of today's live broadcast. And your text messages on the Annie Frey Show text line 314-241-9797. Back in a minute. Home Shield Foundation Repair. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com is the website. Matt Hayes is the owner, and he is a foundation repair expert. And he's hired an incredible team of experts to help him get the job done and get it done right every time. If you have a water issue in your basement, if you've got wet spots, or when it really rains, it pours inside your home, you know you have a problem. You don't know where to go to get it fixed right, and you don't want to overpay, and you don't want to be underserved. And I want you to call Matt Hayes at Home Shield Foundation Repair so he can give you a quote and talk to you about the many people in the St. Louis area. He's very familiar with this terrain, of course, as he is a local guy with a local team and a family-owned business that's ready to take that phone call and to get your foundation repaired once and for all, adding to it a lifetime warranty so you can feel confident that the job is going to be done correctly. 314-271-9900. Call 314-271-9900. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Here's reason 17. In today's new world, many law firms have had money injected into their firms by Wall Street, private equity, and other lenders. This money usually comes in at very, very high interest rates. It's one of the reasons you see so many lawyers advertising. I'm John Morgan. This money is expensive and the interest compounds quickly. These law firms can have a huge need for cash just to pay that debt. Why does it matter to you? My fear is your case is settled early and for far less than it's worth, just to service the loan that has mafia-like rates. Our financial strength is your advantage. That plus our reputation makes our firm your firm. Visit forthepeople.com to see our results and verdicts. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon with Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage. We are in the 6th hottest real estate market in the country, Stewie. What can buyers in St. Louis do to gain that advantage with you?
You know what, Mark? It's real simple. Number one, the Bagel loan. Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. No closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, no appraisal fees. The Big Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. Take that money you're saving, add it to the bid, beat all the other offers out. Number two, we give you the power of the pre-approval letter. What does that mean? We pre-approve you for the maximum amount that you qualify for. You can then go into our portal and edit the letter and raise it or lower it to any amount you want up to the amount you pre-approved. No waiting for the loan officer, no waiting for anybody else. It's all in your hands. And the third thing, we can close in 10 days. That's a big deal. If you go to the seller and say, hey, here's my offer. It may not be the best, but we can close quick. Everybody else is 30 days out. You know it's going to happen quickly with our reputation. Big bam, boom, you got the house of your dreams.
Call or text Stewie at 314-324-4440 or Google the Bagel Loan. NMLS number 226715.
The YouTube live chat poll is, does fun now belong to a political party? Republicans, Democrats, or no, it's nonpartisan? Let us know what you think. I'm already looking at your texts and enjoying what you have to say about this topic at 314-241-9797. I'm sure we'll share those throughout the show today. It is 12:38. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. From High Ridge to Pontoon Beach, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Have you seen the surprise that if you consume this all over social media? So if you're not a social media person, this is why I wanted to talk about this first and foremost, because you might not be exposed to this and you're missing out on I don't know if I'll say rare bright spot on social media, but usually social media, especially X, it's just negativity and brevity combined for the most part, and a never-ending feed of it.
Yeah, it's a fight all the time.
You're just always there to fight for whatever.
Yeah.
Now, you could be entertaining about it, but there's always an edge to it. So it's not a relaxing place to go.
No, and it's not always politics. You can get involved in other streams of influence, and it's all fighting.
A lot of times it's culture-based. And,
Yeah.
and this is certainly something that is taking over right now with the World Cup. Now, we talked on Friday about the World Cup. What was my question? Basically, like, are you into it? And I think 2/3 of you said no. And I am here to tell you, Friday after the show, I went golfing with my family. And then we went to, the Brick House in Bethalto. Wonderful little establishment there. Just by virtue of it being near Cloverleaf Golf Course, where we went golfing. And we went to grab a bite to eat real quick before we went to pick up the younger kid. And we weren't there for very long. We were pretty much trying to eat and get out of there and just try to eat something that wasn't Dairy Queen or whatever. But it's a sports bar, kind of. TVs everywhere, live music happening, just good American. I don't even know if bar food. What's bar food to you?
Pizza, pretzels.
Like
nachos,
quick
maybe.
to make. Yeah, it's not that. It's better
Mozzarella
than that.
sticks.
I don't want to degrade with the bar house. It's just like wraps and burgers and nachos and.
It's like It's an American food establishment, because
yes.
that's not always pub food either.
Yes, but it felt like a pub, and I did not have it on my bingo card at all to be in a bar full of a bunch of people watching the USA soccer game. That was entirely coincidental. And while we're sitting there, I think USA scored at least 2 goals, maybe 3. And you're in this restaurant and it was packed and people are cheering USA, just being pumped for it. This wasn't a place that people went because you are a hardcore soccer fan and you're like, we got to go to the Brick House for that. But I would totally go back there as a casual soccer fan, which I think almost, if you go to a bar that's known for watching hockey games, then you're kind of in a culture that maybe you don't normally participate in. Now, if you just like to watch sports and you're in a sports bar, okay, fine, that's great, whatever. But the food was great, the atmosphere was great. I was looking around at people who are just dressed up in Americana type of clothes, just generally repping the United States. I don't know any of their politics at all. It was Bethalto, Illinois. I consider that to be just a very wonderful, classic American suburb with a toe in the rural category, a toe into the suburban one. But I'm sitting there and I'm watching the World Cup, and I would not have even, if we would have been at home, I would have probably checked my phone to see how it was going at most. The Cardinals were playing at the same time. I was watching the baseball game more than I was watching the soccer game. However, the internet and the social media feeds, Instagram, and I don't know if I've seen it as much on Facebook, and X are flooded with Europeans who are over in our country right now, experiencing America from the inside out. They didn't all show up and, observe the Statue of Liberty being like, there she is. They're at Buc-ee's. They are at Waffle House. They are at the things that actually, really in middle America here, make our day-to-day existence kind of a little Americana. And watching them go from one place to the other, they are so surprised. They say one thing over and over and over again when they talk about what it's like to be in America. This blows my mind. They talk about how friendly and kind and outgoing the American people are. If you were to learn about this place that was America for the first time through these Europeans who are here to watch their team play in the World Cup or to just be a part of this global event, if you were to just find out about America through these people, you would think it was heaven on earth. They're so enamored by it, but there's another entity to what they're expressing. They're shocked. They're surprised by it. They're experiencing not just the things, not just the big gulps, or is a very big deal to a lot of Europeans, the free refills. Huge, huge deal. It's not just that, but it is that. They love the people, and they also love the landscape. And that is what is inherently ours. That is our culture. Our people are our culture. And Europeans are coming to the United States of America and celebrating it as if they found this hidden gem of a thing in the United States of America. And you have to ask yourself, why is it so surprising for people to come to America and be like, the people are really nice. It's really pleasant there. It's beautiful. Look at what they have. Look at how clean it is. They're saying over and over again, they're just celebrating all of the different things. And they're not just talking about the magnificence of New York City or the coastline in Los Angeles or California. They're talking about you. They're talking about the experience of going to Middle America, to Kansas City, to the areas right in the middle of the country where a lot of these people are flying into and driving across the country to their destination. They're going all over Texas. They're experiencing you, and they're in love with it. They're enamored by it. They're actually mystified by it, which means you have to stop for a second and think, what was their impression before they got here, and why was that their impression? And it's a very, very simple thing to understand when you look at the administration, specifically Biden and Obama, who made their foreign policy a literal apology tour where they would go around the world and they would apologize for all the great wrongs that the United States has perpetrated on the world. And the whole point of the political far left at this point is to apologize for all the great sins of the United States of America and to make amends or to repair all of the brokenness that America has caused itself. It's just a self-flagellation in hatred for what it means to be America. And that is not something that just you and I experience here domestically. That has been a major export of the United States of America for, in the last 20 years, a good 12 of them. Not to mention the fact, I don't remember where Donald Trump was recently, but you remember when Gavin Newsom chased him over to Europe and went to some sort of conference or seminar and just talked about how terrible Donald Trump was. It might have been when he was doing like the peace deal, which was with the Gaza, the Israel thing. You had AOC went over there and she didn't know what she was talking about, but they went over there to sell to people the idea that America really has some learning to do. And we're here to tell you that America is ready to do it. Guys, that's the entire predicate for the far progressive left right now, and it is a bummer. It's so morose and sad and pathetic. And meanwhile, patriotism, love of country, almost by consequence, is something that the left looks at and goes, ugh, how could you be proud of this place? You love it here? don't you know your history? And we're like, yeah, it's pretty great. It's really actually something I'm pretty proud of. And then Europe comes here and like, this place is so cool. You got to see this. And they're like, big gulp. And we're like, yeah, that's ours. That's one of our things. Waffle House, put it in the Louvre. It's pretty amazing. There is something going on right now, and it is so wild and crazy to observe objective reviews of people coming to experience the United States of America and being the most patriotic Americans that you could muster, to just have so much joy experiencing what this country has to offer, and watching how the left is like, you should be ashamed of yourself. Ashamed! They're definitely party poopers. So tell us what you think. Does fun now belong to a political party? Do you think it's the Republicans, the Democrats, or not partisan at all? I want to read for you here real quick before we go to a break. Doug said, fun is nonpartisan, but there are strings attached if fun is from the left. I think that's well said, but at the same time, what kind of fun has strings attached? Oh man, let's talk about it. Send us your text at 314-241-9797. Weekends America Monday Roundup next. The Retirement Advisory Group, they're ready to take your phone call right now to reserve your space at the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. If you want to know how to create a worry-free retirement, you need to call 314-993-9494. I'd love to see you on Tuesday. That's when this event is taking place. This Tuesday, June 16th, at the Doubletree Hotel in Chesterfield at 6:30 p.m. I get there about 30 minutes earlier. Mark Cox is going to be there with me, and we are going to get to know you a little bit before the Kershaws take over at 6:30. If you're nearing retirement, if you're already retired and you're wondering how to turn your 401k and IRA into a worry-free retirement, look no further than this free event. Reserve your spot. Bring your spouse, bring your loved ones, bring your spouse, your brother, your sister, whatever it might be, at 314-993-9494, and tell them Annie sent you. 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
Hey, St. Louis, this is Brian Kilmeade. You know, I always have a great time when I visit you guys, and I'm coming back this November. So join me, Brian Kilmeade, by getting tickets for the show at The Factory at 971talk.com/events.
Hurt in a motorcycle accident? You need someone who knows St. Louis, who's about St. Louis. You need Kaufman Townsley, your hometown injury lawyers. We're here for real people with real results. Kaufman Townsley, St. Louis Injury Lawyers. Call 314-777-7777.
Cards fans ready to dress for the occasion? Well, Friday, June 26th, as the Cardinals take on the Miami Marlins, you'll get a brand new all-over Prince shirt. But that's just the start. You'll also get the matching shorts, too. It's not just a shirt, but a full summer set that brings a tropical twist to game night and makes waves in the stands. Available in medium and XL while supplies last. More details and tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
The weekend starts here. Grab your crew and kick it off at Friday Night Live at Busch Stadium. Every Friday night home game, Budweiser Terrace turns into the hottest happy hour in the Loop with $5 beers, $5 hot dogs, $7 margaritas, live music, and more all game long. Meet up with friends, soak in the energy, and keep the night going with baseball under the lights. Good vibes, great deals, your new Friday tradition. Get tickets now at cardinals.com.
This is JT the Mulch Man, here to save your yard this spring. Don't let your flower beds suffer from boring mulch or low-quality compost. Hansen's has premium mulch and compost to keep your plants thriving. Trust me, I'm the Mulch Man. Check us out at hansenstree.com.
Yow! Summertime is finally here. It's time to take advantage of Zero Res's best deal of the summer. Mark Cox here. You know Zero Res can handle every surface in your home. Carpets, tiles, grout, hardwood, laminate, upholstery, all of it. And right now they're having a flash sale. 3 rooms for $129 plus a 4th room for free. Take advantage of this while you can. Call them up or go to their website. That's ZeroResSTL.com. Tell them you want the 97.1 special.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Wiggins. Monday Roundup. This here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
All right, speaking of fun over the weekend, everybody knows that the UFC White House event was going on, and I heard some really good reviews. I didn't watch it much myself. But they asked Dana White, the CEO of the UFC, president of
He's
the UFC?
Head dude.
He's the head dude. They asked him, what do you think? How did it go? Will you do it again? He said it went fantastic. It was perfect. I will never do it again.
Yeah.
Because it just cost a lot of money. So he invested a lot of UFC money in that.
That's not the prevailing story. We're going to talk more about the UFC later, though. If being the first thing we talk about on the show, don't think that he regrets it.
No, he said it went fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, it was a spectacle to consume. I mean, the amount of work that they had to put into that, they had to build the entire claw thing that went over that we've seen in the White House backyard, the South Lawn. They had to build that whole thing. I think it was in Philadelphia to make sure that everything worked because it was a projector and it had lights and effects that were all synced up. They had to build it all in Philadelphia and then relocate it after the Secret Service inspected the whole thing in order to put it at the White House. And, I mean, the reviews are incredible for this event.
Yeah, and I'm actually glad to hear that he's upset. Not upset. I shouldn't even say that.
No, it's not. There's no
just
upset.
That he was like, well, we spent $60 million to do it, and it was worth every penny because we had so many people exposed to UFC.
They made a lot of money on it, too.
They made money, and he says that he can't reveal the numbers yet because of deals that they've got with Paramount, but that they had Paramount, and he said many billionaires calling him going, what in the world did you just pull off?
Yeah.
Because the numbers were so good. I don't know that we've heard them yet. Brad, no, you don't have them? I thought you were pointing to say you had the numbers. Apparently, just the live stream around the estimated crowd that was there to watch it on the live stream, not even in person, but just watch the stream, was like 90,000 people right there outside the venue. So based on that and many other things, they think that this was a record-breaking event as far as viewership goes. All right, next story is that eager singles are dropping thousands on World Cup tickets to score international hunks. The dating pool just expanded. This story from the New York Post highlights the way that many young women primarily are spending a lot of money to get World Cup tickets and then going there to just hit on guys because they think, A, these guys are probably loaded, and B, they're probably there.
It says they think they're loaded?
That's what
Are you
what the
inferring
girls
that?
are.
That says it in that article?
No, that's what the girls are saying.
They're saying they're spending money on World Cup tickets because they think the men there are loaded?
Yes.
And they're looking for long-term relationships?
They're looking for relationships with these men who are hopefully, in their eyes, very wealthy and are maybe even international because this girl's from New Jersey and she's like, I want to meet an international guy. This is the way to do it.
Just go to the bar.
You could. But apparently this is not just one woman. They highlight several stories throughout this article of women who are paying pretty good money to get these tickets, and then they're just using it as a way to talk to guys. So watch for that in the crowd as you're watching the game.
I'm glad they're out and about and like doing the things and hanging out with people instead of just being like digital dating and meeting up that way.
It's real.
Go put some work into it, some effort.
Last one, a woman. We got to a 57 here, right? All right, so a last one is the woman was thrown to death in a bungee jumping incident when she traveled to Brazil. Apparently she did the normal thing. They just forgot to hook her up.
Yeah.
Or didn't hook her up right.
Tossed her right over the edge to her death.
That was it.
I watched that video so many times last night to try to figure out if it was AI, read a ton of comments, and then they're like, no, NBC News did a story on it. It's real. Terrifying. Worthy of investigation.
I didn't know there's a video. I just read about it.
Oh, no, there's a video. Let's talk to Steve Moore next.
Men, need a clinic that accepts all insurance, including Medicare? U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters does. U.S. Men's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. And they accept all insurance, even Medicare, for testosterone replacement therapy. Patients love the staff and the fact that, yes, I'm going to say it again, they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Feel better? Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333.
How's business?
Good. Are you up to speed with the new beneficial ownership reporting requirements?
Sort of. What's it about?
It's a new initiative to help fight crimes like money laundering, fraud, and drug trafficking. A lot of small businesses like ours just have to report some basic info to the federal government about the real people behind them.
Reporting your company's beneficial ownership information is quick, secure, and free. And it helps protect U.S. national security. Learn more at fincen.gov/BOI.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh, no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Meet Linda. She's stuck in traffic with hundreds of thoughts racing through her mind, like what she needs to pack for her family's vacation and what they still need from the store. But you know what she's not thinking about? Her HVAC system. Linda is a preferred partner with Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation. Members of our preferred partner plan get 2 HVAC system checks per year. We clean and inspect your AC and furnace at each visit. Partners also get priority service and exclusive discounts starting at just $19 per month. Life is chaos, but with Air Comfort Service, you'll have peace of mind with your HVAC system. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Down. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Oil prices fall around 4%. The Dow's up around 700 points as President Trump confirms an agreement to end the military conflict with Iran.
We ended up making a deal.
The president at the G7 summit in France. Here's Fox's Jared Halpern.
Vice President J.D. Vance is expected to travel to Geneva later this week to officially sign a deal that would reopen the Strait of Hormuz and end a U.S. naval blockade of Iran's ports.
There are a lot of very important details to figure out that we're actually going to sit at the table and discuss together and figure out a path forward on these details.
The vice president on CNBC's Squawk Box says Iran has committed to destroy and dispose of their stockpile of highly enriched uranium. How that is done is among the details to be worked out during a 60-day negotiation period.
Iran also wants sanctions relief. The president on Truth Social announces what he calls the most spectacular Trump rally of them all, a tribute to America, July 4th at the Lincoln Memorial and Washington Monument. He's promising musical entertainment, including his playlist, military flyovers, and the largest fireworks show in history, he says. The British Parliament will consider a ban on social media for kids under 16 and try to figure out how it'll be enforced.
The UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer says he hopes the ban will be in place by next spring. Under 16s will be forbidden from opening accounts on popular platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Starmer thinks this law will be popular with parents.
They will welcome a government that stands by them, that supports them to do the best for their children, and that fights for their happiness and safety.
He also wants to block live streaming and is looking at potential overnight curfews.
Fox's Jonathan Savage in London. A federal immigration agent was struck by a vehicle today while attempting to apprehend someone in New Jersey. Stafford Township police say the agent fired his gun, possibly striking the suspect's vehicle as it left the scene. America's listening to Fox News.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. Stop paying the big guys twice what you need to. Dial pound 250, say my name. That's pound 250, micro, to switch to Pure Talk, where the savings are truly unlimited.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The northwest flow doing its nice thing. Mostly clear skies this evening, dropping through the 70s, 66 for the low. On Saturday, partly sunny, little warmer, 86. We're ahead of the next cool front. There will be some scattered showers and a couple of thunderstorms around Saturday. Saturday night, scattered showers and some storms will bring heavy downpours of rain, some flash flooding, and lightning. 66. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. If your air conditioner needs service anytime, day or night, Air Comfort Service has almost 60 years of experience and is family-owned and operated right here in St. Louis. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
For the sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. The YouTube poll for today: does fun now belong to a political party? We're asking you to vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Republicans, Democrats? No, it's nonpartisan. I think a lot of this has to do with really watching what the UFC did at the White House. Now, Ryan was just talking a little bit about how much Dana White invested in making this happen. I think that the last report I saw said that it was about $12 million of taxpayer money was put into this event, and it came out of a pre-budgeted America 250 budget. So it was money that had been set aside for America's semi-quincentennial, and it was applied towards this event. But if you were watching last night, if you were able to see any of the clips that came out of this event, if you didn't watch it, I can't stress enough how positive the whole event appeared, how joyful the whole event appeared. My apprehension had a lot to do with the fact that I don't want to watch fighting. I have zero interest in watching a man or a woman kick the ever-living crap out of somebody else.
I used to watch it in college a little afterwards. I haven't watched it a lot more since then. It's not on purpose. I just haven't.
Do you enjoy watching fighting, though?
I can, yeah, at times. It's not something I seek out, but if there's a group party doing it, I'll be there.
It's just not my thing. But I don't know. It's like really supposed to be. Women are supposed to be. I know women who like it. I know women who do it, but I just don't. I don't find it to be fun.
You know women UFC fighters?
I know women who fight.
Oh, really?
They're not UFC. I don't know. Maybe they. I don't know. What kind of fighting is that?
MMA.
Yeah, that's right. I know women who do that. I know women who box. I trained a lot boxing, and I learned how to box specifically for fitness, but also for self-defense. So I kind of dipped a toe in that world, and the gym I would train at had a lot of competition that they would participate in, and my trainer would be like, I'm going to teach you Muay Thai. And I'm like, I don't know if that is necessary. But I learned a lot about that, different types of stuff, and really enjoyed Chris. I have to go see him again sometime soon, but it's a male-dominated thing. There's nothing wrong with that. However, the event production was for everybody. If you watched it, you were going to be entertained by it. And if you were like me, I kind of dipped in and out based on the event and not so much the fighting. The music, the visuals, the crowd, the energy, the service respect that was there of all of the different people who have served. This is something you're seeing a lot of. People are like, how dare they make the military members salute these UFC fighters while they were walking into they were all walking next to Medal of Honor recipients. And it's like, guys, come on. And I'm one to think that those people who are saying that specifically online, they know exactly what was going on, but they know they'll get a flood of people commenting, and it's just engagement rage bait. This is a CNN coverage report of this.
I mean, having been here all weekend, talking to people from the Lincoln Memorial on Friday night where they had the ceremonial press conference. Obviously, here at the Ellipse last night, there was the ceremonial weigh-in. And, of course, tonight we're going to have the big fight. It's been a very surreal weekend here in Washington, D.C. I mean, you know, this feels like a UFC event, right? And nobody here is really talking politics. Very few MAGA hats even. This does not feel like a political event. It might feel, I think, a little differently at the VIP zone where I'm sure we'll have a lot of MAGA personalities and things. But in terms of, you know, people watching at home, and many people think it's disgraceful for all of this to be happening in Washington, D.C. For the fans of the UFC, they are absolutely delighted. This is a dream come true for them.
So CNN talking to one of the, I guess, the coordinators there at the White House and getting the lowdown of what the actual vibe is surrounding this. They had at the Ellipse with the Washington Monument there and everything, they had a watch party for this that had a ton of other people who were present to take this event in through screens and everything, and the production value of what went into it. It's people online and in your conversations, if they're looking to try to degrade Donald Trump from this, they are going to say that this was a fight on the White House lawn for Donald Trump's birthday. It's not really Donald Trump's fault that his birthday is on Flag Day and happens to be within a month of our semi-quincentennial celebration. We weren't going to stop celebrating America on Trump's birthday. And it was on a Sunday. And he has the relationships to pull in all of these different people to make an incredible event like this happen. And he did it. And if you just listen to CNN, that CNN report right there, it wasn't a hyper-partisan experience. I just think it's all good. And the people who want to criticize it, I'm looking at these folks and I'm saying, okay, you didn't like it. Wasn't your cup of tea. You don't like that we're celebrating America this way. How would you prefer that we celebrate America? And do the people who are opposed to Donald Trump or America First or MAGA, whatever they have made that out to be, would they even celebrate America? Well, we have an answer to this. So we know, because the left, with some of the biggest names in celebrity that still participate in politics, like Robert De Niro, like Bette Midler, like Julia Roberts, like Miss Rachel, they counter-programmed the UFC event. I did not know that they were doing this until I started seeing clips. And then when I saw the clips, I couldn't believe my eyes and ears.
Oh, you fascists bound to lose. You're bound to lose. You fascists bound to lose. Hey there, all you fascists. Let me put you straight. When you come for the rest of us, we'll fight you at the gate and you will lose. You fascists bound to lose.
How'd they get Winifred Sanderson to sing that song? I don't understand.
Well, that's what this was?
This is a counter-programming.
I saw some of this.
Yes.
I didn't know what the heck it was.
It looks like a bad SNL sketch of, I mean, if the left had pulled off something pretty spectacular and the right wanted to, if you wanted to characterize like a hoedown, rural kind of country bumpkin sort of right-wing thing, it kind of looked like this. Like a stereotypical, it was so, I'm sorry to use the phrase, but I can't come up with another way to do it. It's embarrassing. Guys, you're embarrassing yourself. Don't do it. You don't have to do this. It doesn't have to be this way. In fact, you could have gone to the pretty much, very much so, heavy pro-America. That includes you folks on the left. You could have come to that event and you could have been a part of it. And it wouldn't have been something that you would have had to shy away from because you just happen to not like the policies of the President of the United States. But they didn't, and they couldn't because Donald Trump was associated with it. So let's just dip in a little bit more to the Rise Up, Sing Out.
Rise Up, Sing Out. Yeah, Rise Up, Sing Out.
No one is getting left behind this time.
this is real.
No one is getting left behind. Not this time. No one is getting left behind this time. How do we get there? Together or never get there at all.
I should have asked for a different key. I don't understand how this is your solution. You know how this is going to look. You know how this is going to play. It's terrible. It's embarrassing. And there's more. Those are the songs on a stage at a theater where they're putting on this basically we hate Donald Trump thing. And you just, when you see it, you think, oh, our side's throwing a party. Let's go to that. And then, what a slog.
I want to laugh at that, but I actually find it depressing. I was thinking about this weekend with all this America 250 stuff that's already started happening and will continue to happen. It feels like a time where we could actually put things aside for a moment and celebrate the country. But there is a faction of this country, it's probably 30 to 35% of the country, that has no interest in coming together about anything American unless they're the ones in charge and they can determine everything about it. And if Joe Biden was in office during the 250th, we here would be celebrating America. And they would too, because their guy would be in charge. But if they're not, they won't do it.
You just said that you felt like we're kind of getting to a place where we can celebrate America and just put the politics stuff behind.
Well,
you just said that, right?
No, I said that if their guy was in charge, that we could. But they won't celebrate America unless it's their version of it.
But here's the thing. We are at that place, Ryan. We have gotten to the place where people, their love for their country is growing bigger than these people's hate for their country, and we should leave them in the dust. Join the party when you're ready. When you're tired of being miserable, angry, inhabitable as a party. We want you to come join the party, not the Republican Party. We're Americans, and this is an incredible country party. More from the event from Robert De Niro.
We all love our country stuck in my throat because our country isn't so lovable right now. I hate to say it, but loving our country is starting to sound like an abused spouse saying they love their abuser. I can't love a country that starts stupid and inhumane wars, killing thousands of innocents and indirectly causing the deaths and suffering of millions more. I can't love a country that takes health care away from millions of people and uses that money to enrich their pals in the Trump-Epstein class. I can't love a country that sends out masked militias to shoot citizens in the streets, torture our neighbors, and separate families. I can't love a country that's led by a racist, misogynist, xenophobic tyrant. And let me just say it. I can't love the country that's led by Donald Trump and his...
I mean, I'm glad he said it because he could have just started with that and, maybe taken up a little less time at the podium there. But that's what it's all about. It's all about Donald Trump. But they're not going to be able to let that go because you always talk about the 30%, Ryan. That 30% is it's a cohesive, glued together, inseparable bunch. And Donald Trump is just the trigger word to remind them all, get together, stay together, and go to this funeral of a party. The reason why this took place when it did is to counter-program the UFC. And if you dip over and you see what the UFC put together, not to celebrate Republicans, not to celebrate Donald Trump. I mean, there are a lot of people there who like Donald Trump. They're allowed to, folks. This is America. But if you were somebody who was just peeking for the first time at these two different parties, what do they offer on the left that makes you go, yeah, I'm for that cause. Yeah, I want to be a part of that. Here's Dana White talking about the UFC 250 event.
Things going on in this city up until July 4th.
to celebrate, and the fact that he trusted me to do this and to deliver tonight, and we did. And like I said, I did all the media. We went to New York. I did far left. I did far right. I did down the middle. I did it all. And I believe that if you are an American, no matter where you sit politically, tonight was a proud night to just sit around and enjoy the 250th birthday of America. I was just honored to be able to be. I was honored to be the person that he trusted to deliver tonight. And I hope everybody, as an American, feels that we did.
That's the message from the person who put this event on. Dana White there talking about the purpose, the intent of the UFC 250 fight. He's the guy who is making all of the decisions. He's the guy who's in charge. It was his event to produce, and as he said there, President Trump trusted him to do it. And when President Trump entrusted Dana White to put this event together to celebrate the America 250 birthday, the guy in charge said, I want everybody to feel like this is for them. I want everybody to feel included. Take a peek again over at the other side. Their whole point is who will be excluded. And they're not talking about policy. They're talking about you. It's personal. They hate Donald Trump, but they hate you more for supporting him. And it's divisive and it's personal, and they're losing. Bette Midler up there singing, "You fascists bound to lose." I don't know who she's talking about. I don't think she understands that word that she continues to use over and over and over again. These are sad, angry people, and I don't believe that there is anything that could actually truly make them happy. There's always the next thing to make them continue to be miserable in a monetized kind of way. Can you imagine having to walk that life? We'll talk more about the political party and whether fun belongs to it throughout the course of the show. We'll come back and read some of your texts at 314-241-9797. That's the YouTube poll for today. Does fun now belong to a political party? I hope that the answer at the end of the day is no, it's nonpartisan. We're asking you that, or if it's a Republican or a Democrat acquisition at this point. Luke Rosiak is going to be with us at the bottom of the hour, so stay here. We'll be back in just a minute. Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage has that offer that he hasn't given me an exact date, but I feel like maybe it's at the end of June for this to expire. He could extend it. Who knows? But I'm telling you what, it's on right now. I talk about the bagel loan all the time, a new or a refinanced mortgage where you don't pay anything in closing costs. He's got something special going for you right now if you're looking for a new home purchase. A 30-year loan. He wants to offer you for the first year of that new 30-year loan the ability to lock in a 1% lower interest rate. A 1% lower interest rate for the first year of a new 30-year loan, and you still get to use the bagel loan, which means no dollars in closing costs. How do you get a hold of this? You can call or text. He's happy to take either one at 314-324-4440. And that number goes directly to Stewie. 314-324-4440. I've used the bagel loan twice for refinances. If you're looking at a new home purchase, this is a must connect. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
If you replace an old system with a new system, your bills will go down. Promise you. The so-called high efficiency stuff only works if your house is efficient. I don't care about single stage, double stage, multi-stage, variable speed, blah, 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 and SEER ratings. How long can I keep the heat inside my house? And how long do I keep the heat outside? That's efficiencies. If you want an air conditioner that will cool your house in the heat of the day, and you want a furnace that will heat your house in the coldest of days, or you need a new furnace or air conditioner, you want common sense approach, no pressures, and, just probably, I would have to say, with no bias, the best company I've ever seen. Are you ready? They have one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. It is 314-293-2600, or on the internet, BartInman.com. Now that is Bart with a B, Inman with an I. Americana.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Bob and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group, to learn how to create your worry-free retirement. We'll meet June 16th at the Doubletree Hotel in Chesterfield at 6:30. Here are Bob and Tammy with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering how to turn your 401k and IRA into a worry-free retirement? Would you like to learn the strategies that give you market growth but protects you from market losses at the same time?
Would you like to get a free personalized retirement income plan? And did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to create a worry-free retirement? If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Have a worry-free retirement. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, at the Doubletree Hotel in Chesterfield, Tuesday, June 16th at 6:30. Go to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Annie Frey is St. Louis conservative.
We've been talking a lot about the Europeans who have found their way into the United States for the World Cup experience, and they are just really, really pumped for what they're finding. Here's a couple of Brits, that's how they refer to themselves, and they're visiting Paul Revere's grave. Now, I think maybe at least one of these guys has moved to the United States, but they're at Paul Revere's grave, so they're going to have this conversation here with Paul Revere.
Oh, Paul! The British are coming! The British are coming, the British are coming, the British are coming!
Mate, this is the guy.
What do you mean?
Like, this is the guy.
Oh, him! Yes!
He's the reason Americans don't eat beans on toast.
Exactly!
Listen, Paul, no hard feelings. What you've done with this place is incredible. I love the freedom.
The whole midnight ride thing kind of gave us away a bit. Cheers, Paul.
It's his fault we're not eating barbecue food in England.
I mean, the word on the street, Paul, is that you helped with the Boston Tea Party. It's a lot of tea gone to waste.
Then again, America did give us sweet tea, so I thank you for that, Paul. Thank you very much. But that's a lot of tea. To be fair, he did stop a lot of people speaking in our funny accent. And they'd all have bad teeth.
And they wouldn't have freedom of speech.
And all we end up with is a little island and a funny accent.
You know what? Thinking of it, he did a pretty good job, didn't he?
Yeah.
Right, Paul, the Brits are leaving. The British are leaving. The British are leaving.
We're leaving. I guess Paul Revere wins again.
Well done, Paul.
Yep, the Brits are officially leaving.
The British are leaving. I think that's funny. Just a lot of content like that, talking about American history, and of course, modern history, the types of things that make America what it is. Have you seen any of these videos on your own?
I've seen maybe one or two. I haven't seen I've heard a lot about them.
Yeah.
So I've almost read more about the videos than I have seen the videos.
What do you got from the text line on today's poll?
Yep, the text line is popping today on the question, which is, does fun now belong to a political party? Let's see. It start with this one. Hi, good show. My apologies, but politics is a full contact blood sport these days. It hasn't been fun since the Reagan era. I would know. I'm 67 and I've seen it.
6'7".
6'7". This person says fun is nonpartisan. To give fun an affiliation to a specific group, to call it objective. Nacho's fun is subjective. If a liberal is doing something that you don't find fun, that does not mean it is not fun.
I feel as though the progressive left's job is to police fun and to permit it or to disallow it, and that there is kind of a punishing tenor to it. And the great irony of all of this is that the liberals, from what I understand, of our parents' generation, the hippies they were the ones who wanted to be able to do what they wanted in a free love kind of way without intervention from other people worrying about what they were doing. Just government, get out of my life, get out of my bedroom, get out of my head, my decision-making process, and, whatever. That is swung to the right side of the aisle. Maybe in a populist way, but still, if you want less government meddling in your life, you do not vote for the left.
No, you don't. But I like I said before, I have a punk friend who I talked to one time where I convinced, hey, you're anti-government. You're probably conservative. And he just couldn't grasp it. He just could not understand it.
Do you look at the things, something like the UFC fight that was on the White House lawn? You said you didn't watch a whole lot of it, but have you seen some images and videos and stuff like that? I mean, those people were having an amazing time. I just don't really take the left very seriously when they start talking about tax dollars. When, it's like we're talking about $12 million in taxpayer-funded, I guess, subsidy based on the research that I've put in. Maybe that number's not right. I'd stand corrected if somebody could correct me on that. That $12 million went to it, which had a lot to do with the elevated security necessary for an event of this proportion. But that because of the semi-quincentennial event, that they had budgeted a large portion of dollars towards whatever ended up being done for the 250, and the money came out of there. So it's not like they took it out of the climate defense budget or something like that.
Even if they did. I just looked up, what was the total cost of the Inflation Reduction Act? $891 billion.
Yeah, but what'd you look it up on?
AI overview. And it's
That's Google.
Yeah, Google.
That's Google.
And this has given us the primary costs in it were clean energy subsidies and stuff. Like, you know how much 12 million is?
You're not
compared to 891 billion
about tax dollars.
You don't care.
You hate that Trump might be having a good time on his birthday at the White House, and Stephen A. Smith is out there saying, like, guys, this looked like it was a pretty good event.
Everybody gave it good reviews.
Yeah, everybody. Even people on CNN. We're going to break real quick. We love talking about the rooting out of fraud across the United States. And Luke Rosiak is going to join us when we come back. He's the Ohio local investigator. He's been on with us before. He's testified in front of Congress, and he will talk to us about Medicaid fraud and how that process is going. We want every dollar found so that we can have more UFC fights at the White House or something. Maybe not. I don't know. I inferred. More fights. Cage matches between the two parties to pick the nominee.
Like the congressional baseball game. But MMA.
Maybe. Let's take a quick break. Luke Rosiak next. AirComfortService.com. Commercial repair needed at your work, your place of business? Well, call 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. Tell them Annie sent you, and rely on the expertise over decades and decades from the great people at Air Comfort Service. First and foremost, yes, they do incredible work. They do fantastic work. They do quality work. But secondarily, or maybe tied for first, they're great people. They really are good to work with. The reviews, the awards, they've piled up so that if you don't want to take my word from it, as a customer of Air Comfort Service, that you can go online and do some research yourself. If you call Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation at 314-513-0091 because you've got a comfort zone issue at the workplace, you can get a free second opinion on heat exchanger or compressor repairs. They have provided residential and commercial heating and cooling services in this area for 60 years. Why not you be next? 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
The YouTube live chat poll today is, does fun now belong to a political party? Republicans, Democrats, or no, it's nonpartisan. One comment to share here from the text line is that fun is bipartisan. Joy is definitely one-sided. Something to think about. Let us know what you say on the YouTube live chat poll. It is 1:32. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly, Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Happy birthday, America, in 2026. Get used to hearing the word semi-quincentennial. on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Fraud is all over the place. We know J.D. Vance has been tasked with rooting it out at every nook and cranny and corner that he possibly can. We've had Dr. Oz on this show maybe 6 weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, to talk to us about how hospice programs, Medicaid, all of these different ways that people are being taken advantage by folks who know the process, taking advantage of Americans and stealing taxpayer dollars for Lord knows what. Well, there's one person who's been at the lead of trying to root this out in Ohio, and it's Luke Rosiak, who's with us once again. Investigative reporter at the Daily Wire. He's got an investigative series, Medicaid Millions. Luke, welcome back to the show. It's good to have you here with us once again.
Thanks for having me, Annie.
So I want to know just kind of your personal arc in investigating this, because we've talked to some people who are doing some similar to what you're doing in other states, and it's always frustrating to me how early and how long somebody like you's probably been investigating this or had your eyebrow raised to it. You've been looking into it, and fortunately now it's a national story. It's got the administration's attention. How long have you been noticing that Ohio has a big problem when it comes to Medicaid fraud?
Well, the stuff that we all heard about in Minnesota from people like Nick Shirley, a lot of it had to do with Medicaid waivers. And so I think that the problem is Medicaid, a huge portion of it is actually fraud. And the states have different waivers that allow you to add on these extra programs. And so I looked at nationally, I used a database to identify the hot spots, and a number of things popped up, and one of them was Columbus, which turned out to be the second biggest Somali settlement in the United States. So that was an interesting commonality there with Minnesota. But there are other states too. Interestingly enough, Missouri is up there for the states that use this home care waiver that allows you to get paid to take care of your family members. And it turns out that it's just one of these programs. It's kind of like the mail-in votes of medical services. It's inherently hard to it's easy to defraud, and it's hard to prove that it is fraud because we're talking about stuff that happens in the privacy of somebody's home.
Yeah, let's talk specifically about what this looks like, especially since you highlighted that it exists here in Missouri, the same kind of setup. I would imagine there are people who are rightfully staying home, maybe giving up their job or their income to take care of a loved one, and that there would be an appropriate application of a program like this. Is that accurate?
Well, originally the idea was that if there are people that are so sick that they would otherwise be in a nursing home, it would be cheaper to pay somebody a couple hours a day or a couple hours a week to come check on them or bring them food. So mathematically, that makes sense. Nursing homes are very expensive. The problem is that people started claiming to be sick in order to get paychecks for their family members, to the point where there's just an explosion of people claiming to be ill who never would have claimed to be so sick if they actually had to go move into a nursing home. So, of course, this program was conceived for a reason that had a purpose originally, but it's gone on off the rails a long time ago to the point where the people that need it, they may be the exception rather than the rule.
Yeah, I think that's such an important part of this story is the fraudulent claims that predicate any sort of actual care and concern for any individuals, that there are people who are just from the top to the bottom lying about what they're doing and making money off of it. How much money in Ohio do you assess, or do you assume is being found in fraud based on this type of process?
Well, if you just look at how much is actually spent on home care itself, not fraud, just how much is spent on the program, it's over $1 billion a year. It's one of the largest Medicaid programs, more than like going to the doctor and getting an X-ray or things like that. So it's huge. And some of these people are taking care of their family members. They really are providing some care, but a lot of those already would be doing it. Like if your mom is getting to be up there in years and you go and you clean her house once a week, you're not going to not do that because you didn't get a government paycheck. So in some cases it's real, but they'd be doing it anyway. And so I talked to a guy that worked at a home health care firm in Missouri, and their business model was calling around and saying, are you living with your aging mother? Are you already helping her? Well, why don't you get paid for doing something you're already doing? And we're going to keep half the money and we'll give the other half to you, but it's a little cash in your pocket that you wouldn't have had anyway. So yeah, it's quite a large amount of money. And in Ohio, like the Medicaid is the largest expense in the state's budget, and it's doubled over the last 10 years, even though enrollment has remained flat. So it's like, what is going on here? The costs, we just can't keep doing the status quo because something has changed over the last 10 years. And it could be that a lot of it is what I've seen is foreigners. I'd say the overwhelming majority of people doing home health care in Columbus, Ohio, are not actually Americans. They're Somalis and they're Bhutanese. And it turns out that they claim to need this service where when it was just Americans in America, they wouldn't tend to claim like, oh, I'm dying in my bed. I can't even get up to move. I'd be in a nursing home. It's super bad. And they're probably telling the truth. It turns out that Somalis just learn to say that, and they'll all say it, even though they're just like 65 and they're basically perfectly healthy.
Luke Rosiak speaking with us right now, investigative reporter at the Daily Wire. You've mentioned this. We've heard this from other investigative reporters in Minnesota, and it's like this. It's part of this Somali culture that this is just kind of something that if you're not directly participating in it, it'd be really pretty hard to not know that it's going on. Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah, and I think it sets it up for these conspiracies, basically, where you have doctors involved, you have the companies, and you have the old ladies, and a ton of people know what's going on, and nobody is going to tell the police. And interestingly enough, the Bhutanese community, people from Bhutan, there's a group of refugees, and it's not actually most Bhutanese people. Bhutanese people are Asian, and a lot of them are good people, but there's a subset within them, a subculture that is refugees or supposedly refugees, and they've landed in Ohio. And 81% of Bhutanese people are on welfare in the United States. And the other 19% own these companies, or a large portion of the remainder seem to own these companies. And so one of the differences here when we're talking about this home health care stuff is you're not just receiving welfare from the government, or you're not receiving a medical service. You're able to direct the payment on your behalf to a company that you choose. And so it becomes way more lucrative because it's not that these people actually want people to come, go around their house and like clean or whatever. They want to direct the payment of government dollars to their friend or their neighbor or their family member. And so, I had a story where this Bhutanese guy, he's drinking champagne on private jets while wearing Prada because he owns a private yacht and a private jet. And he puts all these photos of himself online to the point where he's regarded as a celebrity in Bhutan. His name is Roshan Adhikari. And when you look at just the people with that last name of Adhikari in Ohio, they've gotten $350 million from Medicaid and for adult daycare centers. And so that's just one clan from one country within one state. And it's a tenth of the GDP of Bhutan. And so it's not just this one guy. Like there's a bunch of people that are from the same country doing the same thing. And they have these charities that share addresses with the Medicaid companies that then send the money to Bhutan. And so what this is it is a conspiracy where all the Bhutanese people are bilking Medicaid by pretending to be sick as a systematic way to send foreign aid to their country in Asia.
Man. My jaw dropped when you told that $350 million detail of that story. Luke Rosiak speaking with us right now, investigative reporter at the Daily Wire. Luke, this sounds like a drug ring. It sounds like an apparatus where there is a structure that is understood and that you get a lot of people involved and nobody wants to cause, the whole thing to come crumbling down because it would catch up so many different people in it. Is there an obvious structure? You just mentioned one person who kind of maybe sits at the top of that while he's sipping champagne in his private jets. In Ohio or in other areas where you've investigated, is there kind of a pyramid to how this fraud gets managed?
There's definitely a pyramid. I mean, they put companies in other people's names and they accumulate vast wealth. And there are people that own, 10 houses or more because they're these Medicaid magnates. And that's something that I'm going to report on more as our stories continue to roll out. But yeah, another way I look at it is the pyramid with doctors at the top. And so in the past, basically the doctors are able to authorize tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars in government spending. And they don't even work for the government. So in the past, obviously the way it's supposed to work is Congress has the power of the purse and they're going to deliberate and appropriate money to a specific agency. But there are doctors that are basically corrupt and they don't really care. It doesn't cost them anything if they just say that everybody is really sick. And so they'll sign this paperwork. And so I think that's a way that Congress needs to change the rules and maybe even bring it in-house where only government doctors can sign off to say that somebody has a severe disability, because it's a really weird thing where these are private doctors and you can just doctor shop until you find one who doesn't care. And CBS had a great story involving hospice where one doctor had authorized the expenditure of $72 million in federal funds for people that he said needed hospice, and most of them didn't actually seem to need hospice.
See, and Luke, this is we talk a lot of politics here. It's like a political news talk show, but we talk a lot of culture as well. And it would be satisfying enough to me to know that we've rooted out this fraud and we've stopped it in its tracks and that people are going to pay for what they've done. But I'm assuming that the victim here isn't just the American taxpayer, that there are people who are probably seeking out Medicaid, people who are probably seeking out hospice care, that need this type of care, families who want to care for their loved ones, that the victims here, it's not just a political, this is a bad thing, we need to find the fraud and end it, that there are actual real live people involved in being victimized here.
Well, sure. In Ohio, they've changed the House and Senate passed Medicaid reform to some extent after my investigation, but they walked back some of the reforms after people came to them saying just that they really need these services, and it would be very sad if they went away. But at the same time, by definition, the kind of person that calls up their legislator and complains about the process and says, I went through a lot of red tape and it was difficult, those aren't the fraudsters. The fraudsters don't encounter any of that red tape because they control the whole process. They've got doctors, they've got companies, everybody's in on it. And so Ohio at this point implemented, GPS tracking, which is a good first step. There's ways around that too. But, when you order Uber, when you order like DoorDash, they're tracking your sandwich with a GPS. So certainly we need to be tracking the people that are getting paid $90,000 a year to go to different old ladies' houses and sweep the floor. We need to make sure they're actually going there. But there are people that were upset that there was a crackdown that could impact the way that these services were provided to them. But I think it is a side effect of mass immigration. We had these, and people like J.D. Vance and Andrew Ferguson and Dr. Oz have all talked about this, that we brought in people from a low-trust society that will scam anytime they can scam. And most of our programs that seem to work reasonably well for the last however many decades, they're predicated on people being generally honest. There really wasn't any fraud, any way to stop the fraud. It's just if you were willing to lie, you would probably get the money. And we don't live in that world anymore. And so for the disability activists who are concerned that this may make things harder for them, I think that's exactly right. I mean, that is a cost of bringing in massive amounts of people from the third world. And we need to be realistic that money isn't finite. And when you look at the budget of Medicaid doubling in Ohio over the last 10 years when enrollment is flat, that's not sustainable. Something has to change. And so I think that the people that are concerned that it may impact them, and they're right, money's going to dry up, and the people to take this up with are the Somali and the Bhutanese fraudsters who are flying on private jets and earning hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well, I will say that Ohio certainly, but the country is fortunate to have you as an investigative reporter on this story to expose it. My final question to you, we're speaking with Luke Rosiak, is do you believe that we are on the track to stop this fraud and to recover from what has been perpetrated here for I don't know how long?
I think that the Fraud Task Force is really exciting. They've done a number of things in Ohio, cracking down. But I think that you can pursue individual fraudsters and put those people in prison, and you should, and that will create a deterrent effect. But I do think that the programs also need to be fundamentally changed. So you're not just paying the money and then chasing it later, but you're making sure the money isn't going out the door to begin with for somebody that isn't confirmed to have been really like an amputee or somebody with ALS or some very serious condition where we can confirm medically that they literally can't even walk, because this is like $90,000 a year. It can be more if you get like 24 hours a day of care. This is a ton of money. And remember, we're only talking about Medicaid. So we're talking about people that didn't really pay taxes to begin with, and now we're paying $90,000, $180,000 a year to have people cook and clean for them. We may need to reevaluate how that program itself is done.
Yeah, so much so. Luke, thank you for being on the case, and thank you for being on the show with us today. We continue to follow your work and follow up with you. Thanks for your time today.
Thanks, Amy.
Take care. Bye-bye. Luke Rosiak, investigative reporter at the Daily Wire. His investigative series, Medicaid Millions, I would encourage you to look into it because it's pretty incredible. We'll take a break here. When we come back, more texts from you at 314-241-9797 on the Annie Frey Show text line. Does fun now belong to a political party? We'll be right back.
Hey, St. Louis, this is Brian Kilmeade. You know, I always have a great time when I visit you guys, and I'm coming back this November. So join me, Brian Kilmeade, by getting tickets for the show at The Factory at 971talk.com/events.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Imagine this, a summer evening, relaxing under a beautiful porch overhang, hosting your friends on a composite deck, or enjoying a bug-free breeze in a screened room. That sounds dreamy, right? Hi, it's Kim, and that dream can be your reality with Lakeside Renovation and Design because they specialize in creating outdoor spaces that make your backyard the go-to spot for family and friends. And with their attention to detail and the high-quality materials they use, you'll have a space that lasts for years. Visit lakesiderd.com today to get started on your outdoor oasis.
When it comes to selling your home, the agent you choose matters more than anything. Hey, it's Mark Cox. I'm with my friend and trusted realtor, Gloria Liu, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria, what should sellers really be looking for in an agent?
Thank you. You're going to select a realtor with a proven system, someone who knows how to price your home right, create strong demand, negotiate for top dollar, and guarantee results. I see it all the time. Last year, hundreds of homes in St. Louis came off the market unsold and needed multiple price reductions. That's what happens when the right strategy isn't in place. I do things differently. My focus is to help you sell for the most money possible, not just to list your home and hope it sells. Plus, I even guarantee to sell your home for 100% market value, or I'll pay you the difference.
Make sure you choose the right agent the first time. Call the one I trust, Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888, or visit gloriahasthebuyers.com. That's gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession.
If you're looking for the best eye care in St. Louis, look no further than the doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andrew Royer. Make your appointment today at youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000. Ophthalmology Associates.
The Annie Frey Show is St. Louis conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I love talking to the Luke Rosiaks of the world, the Dustin Graziers of the world, to know that these people are at the very bottom of all of this fraud, and they're rooting it out so that everybody else can not forget about it.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say, is that we're not forgetting about it. This story broke in February?
I don't know.
March, something like that. Really specific to Minnesota. It's spread since then. But it's still a big story. And it may not be the headline story, but it is still a big story. And I'm glad to see that, because that's the only way it's going to get solved.
Our poll for today is about fun belonging to a political party. Republicans, Democrats, or you think that fun is nonpartisan. Do you have an opinion on this?
I have a split opinion on this, and I'm really torn between no, it's nonpartisan, and Republicans. I don't think Democrats are a fun party right now. They like to manufacture it for political events and hire a lot of big artists. But the reason I would say Republicans is because I see a lot of these events happening that are supposed to be just kind of like the bicentennial, where we all just came together. We were Americans. Everybody's happy that we exist for 200 years. Now it's 250 years. And we're supposed to be having a party this summer regarding all these things. Yet I see the left really just either actively counter-programming against it, like you played earlier, or just not participating in it and not being happy that America exists and not being happy to be an American or being ashamed of it. And so in that sense, Republicans do kind of have fun cornered, because we're not ashamed to be what we are.
I think watching Europeans come here and take in what America has to offer and all of that, I think it's refreshing to hear the things that they like about it. But I also think that maybe part of my question today, as I worded it, that the idea of having fun because it's America is like something that is kind of shameful. From the left.
Yeah.
That you could relish the idea that you are an American, and you could talk about things that are hyper-American, and we're not just talking about the Grand Canyon or, some sort of Yosemite or some sort of geographical location where you're like, oh, that's obviously part of what America is. America is actually its people. And the impression that Americans are giving an influx of visitors right now is that we're a happy, friendly people. I don't think that intra-America, that's how we would describe each other.
Yeah. And what's being highlighted, as we've talked about these people that are in the country right now, driving kind of across it, because a lot of visitors to America, they come to the coasts. If you're from Asia, you come to the West Coast. If you're from Europe, you go to the East Coast usually. And they don't really see anything else than that. And that's two countries. I mean, that we are two different countries. You have the coasts are one country, and you have the rest of the country that's another.
I would venture to say we're probably a dozen countries.
Possibly. And when you get into the more traditional version of America is when you're getting more into the center of the country, which is right where we are. And we don't feel or think the same way as the coastals. We just don't.
Yeah, nor should we. Our lives are different.
Yes. And we have very different views on even what government should be. And it's great to see somebody from the outside acknowledging that, because we feel like we're overlooked all the time.
Well, and I don't think either that there's anything wrong with people on the coast wanting things that people on the coast would want, and people in the Midwest wanting things that the Midwest, and in the North, in the South, we're all very different. Folks, it's the United States of America. The country is an acknowledgement that there are 50 different units of interest, and that by virtue of a bicameral Congress, half of it recognizes each of those individual places as equals. That's how you know that we're not just a straight democracy. And it's important that our founders understood that. And just generally speaking, it seems like, on the whole, we're pretty happy about it. Weird that we have to have visitors tell us in order to reflect on it. We'll be back. Don't go away.
facilities online on time and on budget. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
Home Shield Foundation Repair online at homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com. 314-271-9900 is the number to call. And I want to tell you right now, if you've got concrete at home or at work that is uneven and has become a safety hazard, a trip hazard, you need to get it fixed, and you can get it fixed in a day. The process is called polyjacking. It takes a polyurethane foam, injects it under the concrete, raises it up, levels it out, gets rid of that safety hazard so that while you're walking around your pool deck, you're not tripping or stubbing your toe. Once again, you hate that concrete. And you get it fixed for an affordable amount with a 5-year warranty attached to it. Matt Hayes, the owner, and his great team, like I said, can solve this problem for you in a day. All you got to do is go to his website. Now, if you go to homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com, you're going to see a host of different repair options that they have for your foundation. Call 314-271-9900. You can visit them online at homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com.
Ready for a fresh start? The Excel Center in St. Louis is here to help you earn your high school diploma, tuition-free and on your schedule. With convenient locations in downtown St. Louis and Florissant, you can learn at your pace with support every step of the way. Need childcare, career coaching, flexible classes? We've got you covered. Registration is now open. Don't wait to take the next step toward your future. Visit excel.mersgoodwill.org to enroll today. This community message has been brought to you by Together Credit Union.
Gentlemen, Mark Cox here. When's the last time you actually felt like yourself? Victory Men's Health specializes in hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, and longevity. It's built for everyday men who just want to feel better and perform their best. They already have offices in Town and Country, Sunset Hills, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. They're about to open a new location in Glen Carbon very soon. It's a higher standard of care just waiting for you. Learn more at victorymenshealth.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Fox News. President Trump at the G7 summit in the French Alps says an agreement is signed ending the military conflict with Iran and reopening the Strait of Hormuz to shipping traffic fully by Friday.
I think a lot of great things are going to happen in the Middle East right now, and very importantly, the oil is plummeting down, and the stock market is shooting up like a rocket.
The Dow's up about 600 points. Oil prices are down nearly 4%. The president says the text of the deal will be released sometime after an official signing Friday in Switzerland. Fox's Peter Ducey in Geneva reports there are still issues to work out during a 60-day extension of a ceasefire.
The Iranians are claiming that they are going to get paid up front. The Americans say that's not true. President Trump also just said here in Europe that this agreement does not include sanctions relief. So, what's in it for Iran? The vice president has revealed the parties are moving forward with a multi-billion-dollar fund to help rebuild Iran.
And Iran has insisted that Israel stop fighting in Lebanon. Israel says it's not part of a U.S.-Iran deal. California Governor Gavin Newsom says President Trump has the Justice Department investigating him and his wife.
One by one, anyone who has challenged Donald Trump has ended up on his hit list. And today, I proudly join that list.
Sources tell Fox the investigation started last year related to whistleblower complaints about Newsom's wife Jennifer's finances. There are emergency flood rescues in Texas.
Quick rising water led to stranded cars and damage to roadways, as well as an interstate highway in Waco. State police had to resort to opening secondary access roads to help stalled drivers off flooded roads. In the meantime, National Hurricane Center forecasters continue to watch a disturbance along the Texas Gulf Coast for development. Flood watches have been issued for cities in Central and South Texas.
That's Fox's Kunal Scott. America's listening to Fox News.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. Stop paying the big guys twice what you need to. Dial pound 250, say my name. That's pound 250 micro to switch to Pure Talk, where the savings are truly unlimited.
I move mountains for a living. Literally.
That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The northwest flow doing its nice thing. Mostly clear skies this evening, dropping through the 70s, 66 for the low. On Saturday, partly sunny, little warmer, 86. We're ahead of the next cool front. There will be some scattered showers and a couple of thunderstorms around Saturday. Saturday night, scattered showers and some storms will bring heavy downpours of rain, some flash flooding, and lightning. 66. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
For the sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
How much of the World Cup game did you watch on Friday?
75%.
How did you watch it?
On my TV.
Okay, thanks. I guess we're done here.
With my family. Okay. It was actually a pretty unique experience. And
Oh,
it was
wow.
fun.
Wouldn't it be interesting to talk about it?
Would you like to hear it?
No, I wouldn't, Brad. How'd you watch the game?
I watched it with my face painted red, white, and blue in my living room, standing. I wasn't sitting, and I was yelling for every goal that went in.
Did you really paint
That's
your face?
ridiculous.
No, I didn't actually
You did
really
not
paint
do
it.
that.
No, but I was standing the whole game. I felt like watching, and I told you guys this on Friday, that whenever as the day was going on, I felt like my excitement was getting more and more and more up. And it did. And then to watch the team play, they looked really good. So that was even more exciting. And then, just everything surrounding it, from the national anthem to watching, you guys don't know him, but Zlatan, he's one of the announcers, but he was also a player, and he's just a very unique individual.
What do you mean we don't know him? How do you know that?
Do you know who Zlatan is?
I do now.
I know who Zoltar is. You can ask him questions.
Into a kid again?
So Thierry Henry was a French soccer player. They have Zlatan Ibrahimovic, I think is how you say his last name. I think he was Swedish, and then they have Alexi Lalas, which you guys all remember with the big red hair from '94. Those are the three announcers that Fox had, and watching them go back and forth and then talk about the United States and how they're playing and how this might actually be their moment, that if they play, like when Henry said that if they play like this, they could win the tournament, I was blown away because the team looked really good. So I watched the whole thing.
You want to try again? Ryan, how'd you watch the game on Friday? Did you watch it? How much?
We couldn't get it to work on my upstairs TV. So there's this thing called Ryan's snoring bed that is in a basement room. Where
Is it in a cell?
A little bit.
Go there and think about what you've done.
It's in the room where there's a sewage ejector pump and nobody wants to be in it except for me because I'm like, it's just a basement. Who cares?
Yeah, but if you're sleeping down there and snoring, then you clearly are.
I'm fine.
Just fine.
So
so are the people who might have to endure it.
So on the little TV in Ryan's snoring bedroom, we could get it to work on Tubi. So we all packed into this little bed, all five of us, and we watched the whole game, which was very fun.
Did you snuggle?
So there was no choice.
Oh.
We had to snuggle because of the size
The whole
of the bed.
fam?
The whole family, and even my daughter, Sunny.
What size bed is this?
This is a double.
Full
Yeah,
size?
full-ish.
Not a queen, but not a twin.
Right.
Whatever exists.
Whatever that
in
is.
That
That's
no man's
a full
land.
or a double. They
Yeah.
might be the same thing. You just never know, and nobody can tell you the answer to that question.
Mm-hmm.
We all were in that bed, and even my daughter, who does not care about this at all, was like, this is so fun.
Did you listen to the national anthem?
No, I came in after the end of the game, or after the beginning of the game.
Is it because you hate America, or just...
I just don't love... I wish it was America the Beautiful.
You want to change the anthem? Hot take I did not see coming. This is worthy of a replay. This was so good. Have you heard it since?
No.
This is the first
No,
time
I
you're going
haven't.
to hear this?
Yeah.
This is as how Francis Scott Key intended this song to be sung and performed. Now, can you think of all time? Easy now.
That was cool.
Can you think of all time your favorite national anthem performances? Anything immediately off the top of your head?
No.
Whitney Houston.
Not on my list.
Chris Stapleton is my fave. A couple Super Bowls ago, he did it and he just nailed it. But people are saying that this is on that type of level, that this is on par for that. This is Dan and Shay.
Oh, I did see I didn't see the whole thing though. I haven't heard it. I just saw that it was like, oh, people are talking about it.
Well, let's something.
Okay, first of all, goosebumps.
Right.
And I hate to say that because
Right.
I hate that I could give you that credit.
I thank you for the credit, but
You're welcome.
I mean,
Second, every song ever should have harmonies.
just like that.
Just like that.
The accent to the whole.
Yes.
It's the spice in the pie that makes that the best pie you've ever had. You don't know that it's this unique little extra thing that's in there, but it's there and it's incomplete without it.
Exactly. That's why some of my favorite bands do tons of harmonies, Beatles, Super Furry Animals. The Star Spangled Banner now among that class. And then
The amount of I'm glad you pointed out the harmony. The amount of harmony that is in there, it might be in a fifth of the song.
I thought it was the whole thing almost.
No, there are accents to it. He sings like the first two lines completely without him singing harmony, but when he comes in, it's just under and it's so pure. It sounds synthesized.
Yes. Yeah.
It's so good.
It's why I'm not kidding when I say I would not be mad if every song ever had harmonies in it. That is how good, how much it can change a song. Third thing, though, real quick, the crowd, because that's the first time I've heard
I'm glad you said that.
The crowd is freaking yelling
Right
the
there.
song and cheering, and they're going nuts for the Star Spangled Banner.
And it wouldn't be, that adds to it, it's almost like its own kind of harmony alongside of it, because these people are pouring their souls into something that is saying America, always America, and they're all together doing it. I guess they're going to watch a soccer game, but they could easily not care about the national anthem. Let's get to the soccer. Let's get to the Seven Nation Army, and then we'll go crazy or whatever.
Right.
There's one video I posted, I think, on my Annie Frey Show Instagram account. I'll have to go back and maybe repost it after the show. But there's this guy. He's kind of an influencer. Again, I say this all the time. I'm trying to learn Instagram. I am a D+, maybe a C- at this point on Instagram. But he vlogs his trip to the World Cup. He was at that game. And he is, as that national anthem, he's videoing it from his seat. So you get the perspective of what it would have been like to be in the crowd, and you hear the people singing it or whatever. And he almost starts to get a little hysterical because he's like whooping and stuff like that. He's so excited. And he's like, I can feel it. I can feel it. And he's so excited about it. And then at the end, he's just, it's like almost a spiritual type of experience for him because you're with all of these people and the thing that binds them in that moment. And let's be honest, on the soccer field is your love for your country. You're not super obsessed with USA soccer just because you want to be watching this, peak soccer. You probably have a favorite team that is also not the USA. But come World Cup time, your team is USA. And then if they don't make it past the pool or whatever, then you probably are cheering for somebody else, or maybe your athlete that's your favorite, whatever. But the binding thing in this moment, what I love so much is we're seeing, I don't know if you've seen the Scottish cruise in Boston. They took over a Red Sox game. They have been in bars. They're singing Country Roads, Take Me Home.
Didn't that start here?
Country Roads?
Didn't that start at Blues games?
No,
Anyway, sorry.
I think maybe the song was popular before that. But yes, it is one of our things. But as an American, when you see the Scots together doing Scottish things, aren't you like, man, the Scots love Scotland?
I just like people freaking celebrating something about our culture.
But why? It's kind of the point that I'm trying to work into here, which is when you see the Scots celebrating Scotland, when you see Brazilians celebrating Brazil, you're like, well, of course you would.
That's great.
But when you see Americans celebrating America, we don't really see it very often.
Right.
And now we're starting to see it, and I'm like, yeah, me too.
It gets you excited.
Me too. So just to wrap up the national anthem portion of this show here, I want to go to the panel of the announcers who are covering the World Cup event, specifically the United States game against Paraguay. Because do you want to tell me who these people are?
Yeah, so they're on the left. That's Thierry Henry. The middle guy is Zlatan.
And he's from where?
He's Henry's French. He was a soccer player for France.
And
Zlatan is in the middle.
And where's
then
he from?
He's, I think, Sweden.
Okay, and then the guy on the right, he's one of ours. So
that's Bill.
The Frenchman,
Lexi Lawless.
The Frenchman is talking about. They're going to talk about the national anthem here, and he's going to talk about observing the American there on the panel during the national anthem that you just heard.
And for you, Thierry?
Well, I mean, I want to actually talk about something that moved me. The national anthem was outstanding. The fans were outstanding. Actually, the team, although I'm not American, but I could relate how the team played. I mean, when you see a team fighting like that on every single ball and have an idea of how to go forward, it was just outstanding. But one thing was really as good as the performance as the team, the way it moved me, is this man over there. When I looked at him in the national anthem, and now can I share? Yeah, it's fine. How you cried and how you were passionate about singing the national anthem. And I was looking at it from the side at the beginning. I didn't know where you were going with it, but then I realized how important it is for you guys and how important it is for you. So that was actually outstanding. I'll always remember that.
Oh, thank you. And you made me also emotional.
Wow. Okay.
That doesn't happen every day. So
thank you. It was a fun night. It was a fun night.
Very American of him for being like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
and also, like, you get halfway through the sentence, like, you were crying like a baby over there. Can I talk about this on the air? He's like, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, we're already here.
Yeah,
what
we
am I going to
arrived.
say?
But I mean, that's the thing. I know that there are Republicans and Democrats alike across this land who heard that national anthem, and you felt the same thing. It wasn't a red feeling. It wasn't a blue feeling. It was a patriotic feeling, and it's for everybody. I put this on X last night because I was just consuming all of this stuff that's out there right now with the America 250, but then you add in the World Cup, and then you add in the US the UFC fight 250, whatever. There's just a lot of people in a condensed amount of time, which if you see it anywhere, you just assume that if it's like super pro-America, it's just a political statement. There are so many apolitical events happening right now where people are fawning over the United States of America. And I started to write this last night on X, and I felt like I kind of had to clarify it a little bit. I said, it's America's year. The best thing about it, it's for everyone. And I could have left it there, but I know exactly where that would go from a political sense. Because, of course, on X, I have a highly political, curated group of 20-whatever-thousand followers. They're going to come back and say, Annie, it's not for everyone. That's not what you stand for. You don't want everyone here. And the answer is no, I don't want everyone here. I want everyone here who wants to love this country, who wants to hear that national anthem and understand the blood that was shed to protect the freedoms that exist here. I want people who want to come here to respect it, to uphold the ideas of what America is. I want people who want to come here and be American. Not come here and wave their fingers in Americans' face and tell us what we're going to do for them, and a political party that's going to use those people not really at all to actually help these people, just to gain power. That's a lie. And there is a political party that exists right now, and I don't think it's all of the Democrats. In fact, I think it's a small portion of the Democrats, but they are the loudest ones in the bunch, who have made mainstream for Democrat voters that question of like, gosh, can I really be super vocal about how much I really do love this country? And I know a lot of you out there who are my friends who are Democrats who are unfazed by what the far left is saying in your party, but you have nothing, no want or desire to be involved with Donald Trump. When you hear, I have no idea what the politics are of those guys on that panel. I don't want to know. I don't care. But if you hear a national anthem like that, and that song moves you to tears, why is that? It's because you love what it celebrates. And that doesn't belong to any party. And we are kind of getting a free-for-all permission slip signed right now in this unique time. As we move into the semi-quincentennial, I think just the idea that you could be wearing stuff that's pro-America, like a shirt that says America, or it's got Sam Eagle on it or something. A salute to all nations, but mostly America, Sam Eagle would say. that we kind of have permission right now to say it without having to punch back when someone throws something at you. And it's a really exciting time to be raising children in.
Ooh.
To be seeing pro-America stuff and let your kids get hyped, like that you were watching that game with your kids. You know, to let your kids get hyped behind something that is red, white, and blue and not have to feel like it's a political statement. No, this is your homeland. This is your country. You won the lottery. You were born here. God bless America. I mean, that's a really exciting thing to be a part of. And for me, I am all in on the World Cup, except for the soccer part, because of all of that. I want the USA team to win. I probably won't watch the games unless I'm with people who are excited to watch the games.
The game was good because the team did awesome. The anthem was good because it was just good. Capital G. It made you feel something.
Yeah. And it was about the song. It wasn't about that. You were not thinking about the particular artist while you're listening to it. You're thinking about the words. You're thinking about the melody. You're thinking about your country. You're probably thinking about you. And it touches you. It's incredible. Ethan's back with Sports and Local. I don't know if he knows anything about the World Cup. We'll ask him here in just a minute. Do you know anything about it? Have you paid any attention to this, Ethan? Maybe. It's a maybe. We'll be right back.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com. Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Men, need a clinic that accepts all insurance, including Medicare? U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters does. U.S. Men's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. And they accept all insurance, even Medicare, for testosterone replacement therapy. Patients love the staff and the fact that, yes, I'm going to say it again, they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Feel better? Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. This segment of The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by All Financial.
Hold up. Check it out. Sports and Local.
News with Short John Silver.
That's an insecurity one right there. That's what that is.
Who's insecure?
Loser. Ryan's insecure.
Short John Silver?
It's about him, though.
Short John Silver?
Short John Silver. Instead of long.
Short fella.
It's
Hi,
not about
everyone.
height.
We're in the wrong frame of mind to be having this conversation right now. Ethan, welcome back. How was Chicago? You made it back home safe?
I did indeed. Chicago was awesome. It had been a long time since I had been there, and my biggest takeaway is that that is an awesome city.
It's so frustrating. It makes me more mad when I go to Chicago, and I love it. And I'm like, why are we screwing this great thing up so much?
I said multiple times to my
shame.
wife, to family, I said, there is zero reason that St. Louis cannot be a mini Chicago. We have so much character, so much cool architecture, right on the water. There is zero reason, and we continue to just screw it up. It's a big shame, but it was a really cool city.
I was talking about Illinois screwing up Chicago, but you make an additional point.
Well, it's interesting to hear him say mini Chicago because he's short John Silver. He's always thinking kind of small.
You're the one who keeps bringing it up.
Good to be back.
Do I need to leave the room, boys? Do you need to work some things out here?
Oh, no, we work it out after the show through absolute fist fighting.
We'll get a cage match going.
Get Dana White on the horn, have him promote it.
No, it's much more brutal
Why do
than
you think Ryan was gone there for a couple weeks ago for so long?
Do you have the sinkhole story?
I do have the sinkhole
Can we
story.
do the sinkhole story first before we get into sports?
Yeah, we can.
Because if you look at your Google Maps in downtown St. Louis, depending on how you exit the city to go back home to Illinois, there is a situation.
There is indeed a situation. There's a giant hole under Interstate 70.
I go there.
I
sit
consider
there.
that an issue.
Is it the one right by the King Bridge? In that area? Like just maybe
Yes,
just
it
a little
is.
bit north
that's,
of? Or?
That's Laclede's right there, right?
Yeah.
On the other side
You
of
go-
it.
you
Yep,
can
and right
go
by the dome. Yeah.
Right? You kind of like merge to the right
Yep.
to go down to the landing and
Mhm.
onto the King Bridge on the
Horseshoe Casino there. Yeah, the dome, the convention center, all of that. Interstate 44 will remain closed in both directions downtown for at least the coming week as contractors work to repair and fill a sinkhole that opened near the dome at America Center. On Sunday, St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer was joined by representatives from the city's water division, street department, MoDOT, and St. Louis Police Chief Robert Tracy to update the public on repairs. Spencer Gould, the St. Louis's Deputy Commissioner of Water, said water bubbled up from the ground at North Broadway and Biddle Street on Friday evening. The sinkhole opened up Saturday morning as a result of a break of a 20-inch water main, which also affected nearby 10 and 12-inch mains. The water main break has since been contained. There have been disruptions in service thus far, according to a statement from the city. Residents can report a disruption by calling the Citizen Services Bureau. Yeah, not good. Not good at all.
I like that it's since been contained. Because
What?
Oh, good. But there is a giant hole in the middle of the street.
Sinkholes are scary.
Yeah, they are.
They
They're
act-
cool, though, but they're scary.
They're not cool. Cool is not part of what they are, Ryan.
They are kind of cool, though.
No.
But when
No.
you think about
No.
it, and you look at it from above, you're like, that's cool.
It's not cool. They're terrifying, even if you never actually see one in real life, which I've seen the one out at Gordon Moore Park, and that is terrifying. Just to know that the ground can open up and swallow things, not cool.
Yeah, that's not cool.
That's what a sinkhole is, Ryan.
But when you look at it and it didn't eat you,
no,
that's kind of cool.
No.
I kind of wish that it would have been on video somewhere. That would have been.
To see how fast it happens, because that's always my thing is how fast does a sinkhole? Does it just go whoop, whoop?
Well, it gets brought up on the occasion we talk about the one that's in Alton at Gordon Moore Park and there was video of that. It completely swallowed an entire like a
light
a
pole.
light, yeah, from like a stadium light. So these things
Well, that
are
thing
no
wasn't running
joke.
though. You know, that thing's not getting away. I'm thinking if you're standing right where it's at, what are your chances? If you're driving through there, how fast do you have to get over it?
Well, I mean, probably not very much of a chance.
So help me understand. Did the water main break and then cause the sinkhole, or the sinkhole happened and that broke the water main?
No, I think the water broke and degraded the foundation
Okay.
underneath the ground, and then it crumbled.
The MoDOT area engineer for St. Louis said the sinkhole exposed the underground structure of one of the columns supporting the interstate overpass. Not severe, but those conditions could change. There's a bunch of road closures as a result. I-44 westbound is shut down at Tucker and Stand Usual Veterans Memorial Bridge. Traffic can take exit 249B to Tucker or to eastbound I-70 across the Stand Usual Bridge. There's a bunch of other closures as well. Eastbound I-70 express lanes are closed at Union Boulevard. South Broadway at Cass Avenue closed. From Illinois, the westbound I-64 Walnut Street exit is closed. So this is going to affect probably, if you get into work and you see the map up on YouTube right now, this is going to impact how you get to work if you're on the Illinois side and drive into the city, unfortunately. Mayor Spencer said the effective water mains were at least 100 years old, and this was the latest reason for additional funding for the water division, which is something that has been in the news lately in St. Louis.
You almost had it.
Last Friday, the Board of Aldermen advanced a proposed water rate increase. Board Bill 25 would increase water rates to help address the city's mounting debt.
When the
and
government's
pay
like,
for
see,
repairs.
this is why we asked for that money, and we're like, see, this is why we didn't want to give it to you because it should have been taken care of a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, they go, we got this water bill coming up. Let's see if we can drum up some support for it with a sinkhole.
Are you saying that?
No, I'm not saying that. I was just mimicking somebody who might have said that.
Are you saying that Spencer did the sinkhole?
I'm not absolutely not
Okay.
saying that.
I just had to make sure that's not what was.
I'm no
being
conspiracy
said.
theorist.
Okay, gotcha.
Fact conspiracy theorist. Although I think she's better than what we've had in here.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Just going around, just like we've said before, like feeling good about certain things. There are things happening in St. Louis that obviously all the same issues are still the same issues. But when you drive down a new road, you go, there's progress happening. This is fantastic. And it's not just right here. We've driven through a lot of areas of St. Louis recently and gone, there's a lot of work happening. Why was this not happening before?
I want to see more police. Hire more
Yeah.
police. Pay them well.
Saw a lot of police officers in Chicago. That's for sure. Let's see. St. Louis Cardinals, disappointing weekend up north in Minnesota. Lost 2 out of 3. Friday night, 9-8. Won on Saturday, 9-6, and then lost on Sunday.
Seems like they
5-4.
could have won either of them.
They could have won all 3 of these games.
Bullpen.
They had multi-run leads in all of these games. They led by 2 yesterday. They led by 3 on Friday late in the game. They led on Saturday, too, and blew that lead, but were able to overcome it. So the offense was not an issue. It was the pitching. They didn't get enough from both the starting and the relief, unfortunately. But certainly notable players continue to perform well. Jordan Walker hit home runs number 17 and 18. The first All-Star ballot standings just came out, and Jordan Walker, if it concluded today, would be an All-Star voted by the fans. Every team gets at least one All-Star representative, so he would probably get it regardless. But it is pretty cool that the league is recognizing that he is worthy of an All-Star spot. So currently in 6th of the 6 outfielders that qualify for each of the teams.
You'd think he'd be higher.
You would, but you'd also be surprised when you look at the guys that are ahead of him. Their numbers are all at least just as good. So I did not even, when I've only filled it out once, but the first time I've filled it out, he did not have a starting spot, in my opinion. So anyway, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully Walker ends up getting an All-Star spot because he is definitely deserving of it.
Do you have time to stay for another segment and talk World Cup soccer?
I sure do.
All right, let's do that. Well, let's go to a break, and when we come back, we'll just get a little bit of an update from Ethan on the soccer situation. We've talked a lot about it, but like I said, I'm super into the World Cup, but I really don't care about the soccer. I want USA to win, but I'm feeling super... What?
It just seems backwards to me.
Well...
I'm into the World Cup, but I'm not into the World Cup.
I'm into the event. I am cheering for USA, but yes. Go America. That's kind of where I am right now. You should have seen the results of our poll on Friday asking if people in the show.
Oh, I could probably guess how they
It was 2/3 not going to pay any attention to it, and that's where I was kind of living, but I've shifted into I'm casually interested in it because of the spectacle and all of the things that go with it. So we'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-910-2233. That's 800-910-2233. 800-910-2233.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Lockridge, and I'm the host of a new podcast from Odyssey called Family Lore. In this podcast, I'm going to have people on to tell unusual and sometimes far-fetched stories about their families.
I've heard my whole life that she invented the margarita.
And then we're going to investigate those stories and find out how much of it is true.
He gets a patent 1 month before the Wright brothers. Oh my God.
Please follow and listen to Family Lore, an Odyssey podcast, available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your shows.
How's business?
Good. Are you up to speed with the new beneficial ownership reporting requirements?
Sort of. What's it about?
It's a new initiative to help fight crimes like money laundering, fraud, and drug trafficking. A lot of small businesses like ours just have to report some basic info to the federal government about the real people behind them.
Reporting your company's beneficial ownership information is quick, secure, and free. And it helps protect U.S. national security. Learn more at fincen.gov/BOI.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh, no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Rhino Shield is engineered to outlast paint by a lot, backed with our 25-year transferable warranty. Paint a house, shield a home. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, steel, aluminum, cedar, and more. We are the only coating company selected by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where all 3 episodes concentrate on unpainted brick. If you maintain or own a business with a tired-looking building, you owe it to yourself to look at Rhino Shield and our beautifully durable color schemes. Evaluations are free. We're making buildings pop and be noticed again, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks, exceeding expectations every day with our products, people, and performance. Now is the time to call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or go to 877-25rhino.com and see how honest and transparent we really are. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
All right, the YouTube live chat poll. We've been asking you this question. Does fun now belong to a political party? No, it's nonpartisan is one option. Democrats, Republicans are the other 2 options. And we have been hearing from you all day via the chat line and via the text line, 314-241-9797. Thanks for that. We will continue to monitor that as the show goes on. 2:36. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
From Wood River to Weldon Springs, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. A little extended coverage here for sports with Ethan before we move on, because we haven't talked about the World Cup yet. I just want to know, Ethan, how is the United States looking? When do they play again? Just what if for people who are casual fans like me, maybe now because it kind of looks fun to participate in this, what should they know and how can they follow it?
Basically, what you need to know right now for the general or maybe someone that has no idea what the World Cup is, 48 teams this year are making the World Cup. It's the most that have ever made it. 32 of those teams will advance to the knockout stage, which is basically where it becomes a single elimination tournament. Right now, we are in the group stages where the teams are broken into groups of 4.
This is like a pool?
Basically.
Okay.
Where what happens is the top 2 teams from each group will make it onto the knockout round, and then basically from there on, 8 wildcard teams, the highest-ranked 3rd teams in the groups, will make it. So 32 teams will advance. Right now, the U.S., they won their first game last Friday against Paraguay by a 4-1 final, which was a statement win. They should have beat Paraguay, but the way in which they beat them was pure and utter domination, which I think got a lot of people excited. They play this upcoming Friday against Australia at 2 o'clock. I believe it's happening out west again. All of their games in the group stage are out west. It's either Los Angeles or Santa Clara. So they'll play Australia in the second game. Australia going in, a lot of people thought was the worst team in our group, but they just beat who a lot of people thought was the best team in our group in Turkey. So right now the U.S. is in a really good spot. When you win the first game, to set yourself up to be able to advance. It was never a question really of was the United States going to advance to the knockout round. It's just a matter of
It was assumed they would.
It was assumed they would, but the better you do,
Seeding.
the better you set yourself up with, okay, are you going to have to play a tough team in the first round of the elimination? You know, there's a world in which if the U.S. kind of just sneaks in that they could be facing Argentina with Leo Messi, who just...
Is he good?
He's slightly just the best in the world, or previously the best in the world, and Argentina, who won the last World Cup. So you want to make sure that you play really well in these early games, especially the early games of the group play, so that you aren't finding yourself having to play catch up and chase the standings as well. So they've put themselves in a great spot. They have to press on, keep pressing on the pedal, and find themselves a way to win against Australia. If they do, they've pretty much secured a spot in the knockout round.
And then when is the final game?
The World Cup draws out quite a bit. It's going to be played in New York or technically New Jersey in East Rutherford, where the Jets and the Giants play, and the final will be on July 19th. That's a Sunday at 2:00. So it's going to take a little while to get there. The tournament is 5 weeks long, because the group play itself takes 3 weeks. The United States they played last Friday, they play this Friday, and then they'll play the Saturday after. So it takes time. They do 3 or 4 games a day. There's games going on right now tonight.
I see a lot of feedback from people who are visiting the United States. First of all, they're obsessed with our yellow school buses.
Wait, really?
Oh, yes, because they see school buses in movies. So obviously there are a lot of movies that have a global appeal that are American-based. And they're coming to America and they're like, wait, the yellow school buses are real? The same thing with free refills. There's this one guy from Italy, and I've seen some of his stuff come across. There's people who are, very apt at social media, so they're making these videos or whatever. But he's drinking a Coke, and he just slugs it down so he can get another one. And the guy's like, man, you need to slow down on that Coke. And he's like, but I can have more. I can have unlimited. And he's like, but you don't need all that sugar.
Free.
I know. And biscuits, as we know, biscuits are not something that a lot of people in Europe really experience, and they love biscuits.
They call them cookies there.
No.
Right? Or biscuits
No.
are cookies there.
An Australian cookie
Oh, you're talking about Australia.
is a biscuit.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about anybody. Like, I'm talking about what we have as biscuits. Like, if you eat biscuits and gravy, you're not eating cookies and gravy. I'm talking about biscuits.
Right.
They don't eat biscuits.
They don't have our biscuits?
No, and their mind is blown by this American food that they're all consuming. And I'm watching all of these videos of, they go to Buc-ee's and they spend $100 on themselves on just different kinds of snacks that they can eat.
All the jerky.
Barbecue and jerky and cinnamon rolls and bagged snacks and everything like that. And
Europe must suck.
well, I just think they're just fawning over all of this stuff, and I'm like, I think I know why we're so fat, because it is good. It's delicious.
That's right.
I like all
Taste
of those
first.
things. And then you talk about free refills, and it's just like there's a lot of consumption. we consume it large quantities, and it's pretty good.
You know what foreigners need to really embrace while they're here is ice. And I am not
That
talking
is,
about
they go
immigrations.
they go to ice machines and they're
Ice.
filling it up because drinks are served room temp in Europe.
They're terrible. The water is, even anytime I've been out of the country, barely to like a European nation,
Mhm.
which is not quite, like Iceland is barely Europe and Quebec is Canada, which is not Europe, but it's very European.
Yeah.
Same thing. I'm like, give me some freaking ice. And they're like, sorry,
I wouldn't be
American,
surprised. I'm glad
you're
that
going to drink your warm water.
I wouldn't be surprised if after the World Cup is over, that actually makes an impression in Europe.
I hope so.
Because there are people, especially, again, going back to Buc-ee's, they go into Buc-ee's and they're at the ice machine and they like put the cup up to the ice machine and it fills it up with ice and it's just like overflowing with ice. And you're like, yeah, I guess only in America, but who knew? Cold drinks.
Yeah, cold drinks are American.
So here is a woman who recently visited the United States, and she's talking about her experience, but also comparing it to being a world traveler, how America kind of stacks up
I was well and truly born in the wrong country. I'm a British girl and I have been to around 27 different countries in my whole life. I've been to the Caribbean, I've been to St. Lucia, I've been to Barbados, I've been to Southeast Asia, Thailand, Bali, places in Europe. I've been all over the world basically. And nothing comes close to the USA. You can get every single landscape, every single climate, you can get everything in the US. The people, the food, the landscapes, the cars, the trucks, everything in the US simply beats anything I've ever experienced anywhere in the world. I was born in the wrong country. I feel like I belong in the US. My heart is there. I mean, we found a puppy in the US. We rescued a puppy in the US and brought her home to the UK. There are no words to describe how lucky you guys are to live there. Americans are so lucky to live in such an amazing country. And I wish I was there, guys, honestly.
Don't you kind of hear that and go, yeah, that's kind of right. And it's just not the prevailing message that we have while we're in the comfort of our own company. It's not how we talk about ourselves. It's not just that we don't, I think it's very British to just not talk about it at all and to just kind of keep that type of fawning or excess inward. And they are our mother country, so to speak. But I find it very interesting that there are all these Brits coming over to America right before the semi-quincentennial, reminding America how great America is. What kind of irony exists in that little loop? It's great.
Yeah, you really couldn't have planned that, could you?
No. And there's just a heartwarming thing about it that makes me feel like, yeah, we should look around. And it doesn't have to be America is great and you fill in the blank about who sucks. It's just, no, we're really lucky, blessed to live here. And we do have a really great country that is worth prevailing and protecting.
It's amazing that it seems like that's considered a hot take worldwide. Like, I mean,
yes.
It's a really good point.
So obvious to us. We're like, yeah, we've known that this is the best country to live in for multiple reasons. She brought up some great things that, like, you kind of forget about, like climate and regions, and you can
America
get.
is the only country with puppies.
You can get literally everything in the United
Have
States
you
as far as vacations and where you want to go. But then you realize, well, there's a lot of people right now in our society and my generation, I think specifically, that are like, I hate it here, and I would rather live anywhere else, and I'd rather go to the Middle East than be here. I mean, people forget just how freaking good we have it here.
And they're pretty dumb for saying that.
Correct.
Let's see here. Well, I'll read this when we come back because I don't want to ruin a nice moment. But have
We're
you
all
seen,
having a good time here.
Have you seen, Ethan, the critiques leading up to the World Cup about how American stadiums are not going to be able to handle this? And then they get in there and they're like, who knew that this way? Have you seen this? This is incredible. And it's like, Americans are going, yeah, we got them all over the country. Like, there are more than what we're just seeing right here. But the global message has been one of American decay and inferiority. And it is very, very, very frustrating to know that American leadership have been partly responsible for upholding that message. Okay, let's ruin the good moment right now. Dirk says on our YouTube channel, more Brits are enjoying our 250th than Democrats. All right, let's go. That's to go to the YouTube poll. Does fun now belong to a political party? Republicans, Democrats, or no, it's nonpartisan. We'll give you those results when we come back. You can vote in the live chat poll on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. You can text us at 314-241-9797. Back in a minute.
97.1 FM Talk in action.
It's Mark Cox. Our friends at the USO Missouri are looking for volunteers. From Lambert Airport to Fort Leonard Wood, volunteers help provide comfort and support to those serving our country. Learn more at missouri.uso.org.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Bob and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisor Group, to learn how to create your worry-free retirement. We'll meet June 16th at the Doubletree Hotel in Chesterfield at 6:30. Here are Bob and Tammy with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering how to turn your 401k and IRA into a worry-free retirement? Would you like to learn the strategies that give you market growth but protects you from market losses at the same time?
Would you like to get a free personalized retirement income plan? And did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to create a worry-free retirement? If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Have a worry-free retirement. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, at the Doubletree Hotel in Chesterfield, Tuesday, June 16th at 6:30. Go to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com. When it comes to hiring a contractor, you need somebody you can trust. It's Mark Cox, and I want to tell you about my friend Curtis Carell of the Carell Roofing Company. Curtis fixed my roof. It was after a major hailstorm. He came the same day, got up, inspected it, and from start to finish, from having the adjuster out, pointing out what he thought was wrong, all the way until it was done, it was a fantastic experience. And that's not just my experience. I have coworkers here at the radio station who've also used Carell Roofing Company, and a lot of my listeners have taken my advice, and I thank you for that. Curtis goes the extra mile. He just sent his crews out to Kansas City. They got additional training on working with insurance adjusters, making them more likely to get approval on your case. If you've been denied, call Carell Roofing Company and get Curtis on the case. He's going to do a good job for you. More than 20 years of experience in the roofing industry, and you can take that to the bank. Call him at 314-222-9529 or CarellRoofingCo.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
So this is like a very sports-heavy show today, and they won't all be like that, but there's just so much news between the UFC and the World Cup, but also the Knicks game. Did you pay any attention to watching the Knicks?
I watched the celebration of the Knicks because I couldn't get away from it. But no, I didn't watch the game.
The rioting?
Just the stuff and the celebrities and the stuff that's basically like, it's New York, so it's important.
Man. I was torn because that's been the vibe, is that like, oh, Knicks. I was like, Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a good attitude to have. We tuned into the game Saturday night. We had Molly's 5th birthday party with our family or whatever. And so we tuned it in, and my son was like, I hope the Knicks win so it's over. And I was like, okay, I can kind of get behind that. But Jalen Brunson, at the post-game show, he said, so they won it. The Knicks won it in Texas. So they were in Texas when it happened.
I have nothing against Texas. I love Texas. I miss the Texas taxes.
That's got to be super true.
Can you, here you have Jalen Brunson, Knicks champion, saying nice things about Texas, but highlighting in the opportunity there to be like, the taxes now, that's where it's at.
Well, okay, what's
That's
funny
a great
is
clip.
He's not trying to be political.
No.
He is looking at his paycheck stub and going, yeah, it was way better over there.
Texas
That's
would be
it.
nice.
That's it.
New York takes all of it, and Texas takes none of it.
Not straight out of the income, though. I just find that to be interesting. And I'm looking at 3 events that took place this weekend. The World Cup. I'm not a soccer person. I would say that this is so not fair to soccer, but my true disgust for soccer, personal hurt, is from when my brother was 7 years old playing YMCA fall soccer.
This goes way back.
This is deep rooted. And he'd play soccer, and it was out on the fields, the YMCA fields. I think it was YMCA. Whatever it was. It's out probably where TJ Maxx is right now, or Old Navy and whatever in Edwardsville, because it was across from Shop and Save, but Shop and Save isn't there anymore. And those games were all at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning in the cold rain. All of them. It was miserable. And we would have to get up to go watch my little brother play soccer, and I would sit in the car and just stew. And I'm not over it. And that's not really fair to soccer.
Yeah, that does seem like it's a pretty deep-seated issue.
I guess you can't cherry pick, but maybe back in the 90s, early 90s, you could, because my recollection was that he'd stand by the goal just the whole time, and they'd kick him the ball and he'd score goals, like 7.
There was no offsides.
Man.
I don't know. Not one that anyone was willing to call.
I have one of those, and it's every spring. I'm starting to get over it as I get older, but every spring I get a little bit sad because I know that I'm supposed to, quote, go back to work now, because throughout my entire high school and college life, I worked at golf courses.
Golf.
And
yeah.
It was like, oh, it's time to go back to work again, stand in the heat. But I haven't done that for years.
Just like, don't you still little bit, teensy bit, hold on to that joy that comes when May gets there, because like it's about to be summer, and then you're a grown adult working 12 months a year, and you're like, I don't get a summer.
Well, that's true, too. That's the reverse of what I'm saying.
And then we're all married to teachers, so there are people who are summering at your house, and we aren't the ones who get to do it, although I actually love it.
I do, too.
I actually still love my kids doing the summer thing, and my husband gets to be off, so he's doing some umpiring and stuff now. So I'm okay with it, but there still is that little letdown that's like, oh.
It's not me, though.
I don't get to do that. Does fun now belong to a political party? Brad, what's your vote? Republicans, Democrats, or it's nonpartisan?
Yeah, it belongs to the Republicans because it's hard to have fun whenever you're angry all the time. So I think it belongs to the Republicans right now.
I'm looking at you middle Democrats, and I'm saying, hey, you guys can have fun, too. I'll say it's nonpartisan.
Step up and make it the new trend in your party. I'm going to say it's nonpartisan because everyone's invited, but the Democrats just don't want to show up to do it. But you're still welcome. You're welcome here, too. We like to have fun, and we like to have you with us. So thanks for being with us. Thanks for voting in the poll. And keep it here because the Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk is coming up next.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by LendSeek.
Youth sports can turn your kids into a winner. Don't let them make a loser out of the family budget.
Families spend about $40 billion annually in youth sports.
Financial planner Ed Jertson says if you commit to a summer sport, make sure the family spending plan can absorb all of the expenses and fees.